I ain't gonna say who's on the beat, cause you should know that by now. Ha, check it. Hey yo, music's on my mind, like my 5950, I ain't lying. Ha, check it. Yo, this ain't a fitted song, this a get with it song.
Yo, what up?
Yo, BTV Sports, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Yo BTV Sports. I'm your co-host, Jason and Ugo. We're missing one in the room right now, but he will join us momentarily. You gotta become fashionably late, but fear none, people. It's because we got a great show coming up for you, and we got two great guests here. So first and foremost, let's welcome back Joel from Meta, everybody's favorite Eagle fan right here. Yeah, and Jason, I'm talking to you Giant fans as well. And we're also joined by another legend in here. We have none other than the on and off again co-host of Sports Talk for the Ugo Boy podcast. We have none other than Mongo. What's going on, Mongo?
Doing great, brother. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time, man, because, you and I are both big sports fans, specifically Jets, and I think you're a Yankees fan as well.
Yeah.
All right, so, we have that. We're simpatico. And I remember we had a great time at Hackensack Brewing Company. Shout out to Mike Jones and everybody over there. And, I just think that we are pretty much simpatico with just sports talk in general. And Hugo has nothing but great things to say about you. And, and I love the stuff that you guys do on the Ugo Boy podcast, which you're rocking the hat right now as you speak. Yep. So there you go. Yep. And let's just get into it while we wait for the lovely Ugo Boy to come here. But let's get it started. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and we are live from Bravery Studios in Garfield, New Jersey. Shout out to Mar behind the glass. And let's get it started. So now, ladies and gentlemen, fellas, we are now officially in week 9 of the NFL season, the ever fast changing season of the NFL. It's so funny because we wait so long, so many months for it to come, and then afterwards it just comes and goes quickly like the wind. So right now we're at the halfway season point. We got a really interesting game, with a divisional game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. I'm really excited for you guys to square off on that. It was a little tame the first time you guys came on, but I feel like it's going to be WWE type of energy coming in here, but I'm looking forward to it. The Jets win the Snoopy Bowl, if anybody even give a darn about that kind of thing. The dreaded Snoopy Bowl. Oh my God, Metlife, that AC, that air conditioning unit that they call a stadium out in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Give me a break. The NFL trade deadline, I mean, it's got it's pretty quiet for the most part. I mean, Jets certainly didn't do anything. Leonard Williams was traded from the Giants to the Seattle Seahawks. It seems like they're having a Jets West reunion over there with Geno Smith and Jamal Adams and now Leonard Williams. Pete Carroll's a former Jet coach at one point. And I also and as far as I just feel like at the halfway point, I mean, I guess we just recap everything that's going on. But let's go off with this guest first. So let's start off with the Jets, Jets, victory. Oh, can we get a little drop there real quick, Marv? All right, now, AKA the ugliest game that I've probably ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
It was a brutal game. It was like it was a pure example of putting lipstick on a pig. That's the perfect analogy that I think of when it comes to this game with the Jets and the Giants. Let me get your take on it, because I personally did not see the game because I was too busy celebrating my directorial debut and for season 3 of Nights at Cityplex with this handsome gentleman over here.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And shout out to Mark for coming through as well as Ugo. But getting into the game, I saw the highlights, and even the highlights were ugly. So I can imagine how ugly this game was. I mean, did you actually watch the game yourself?
So I got to watch about 90% of it. I walked away
That's
several times, admittedly.
That's certainly more than what I watched.
Yeah, so let's make sure we understand this. You all got together and said, let's just leave Mongo to suffer through this. He'll fill us in later. Let's leave a man behind. That was the idea.
I mean, I think you had it better compared to the people that actually attended the game with that horrible weather, and it's just a 3-and-out fest on both sides. Both defenses played pretty well. Kayvon Thibodeau actually shut up a lot of naysayers saying that he's already a bust because he's a 5th overall pick in the draft and he hasn't played like one. But I think he shut up a lot of haters, and you had Dexter Lawrence who played a monster game. The play calling for the Jets was suspect on the offensive side of the ball, to say the least. I mean, there's a lot of questions with Nathaniel Hackett, but I also think that it's also the fact that they really miss Aaron Rodgers. But his presence being there is definitely having an effect on the team. But as of right now, I think it's just a coaching problem. I love Saleh. I love Jeff Ulbrich. I don't think he gets enough credit as a defensive coordinator because he is part of this defense. The defense have been playing lights out. I mean, Quincy Williams is probably the linebacker of the year so far, as far as like in the running. But yeah, it was just an ugly overall game. Bad coaching on both sides. So what's your takeaway as far as the game, the 90% that you watched?
Well, so let me start. I almost sent 2 texts during this game about maybe end of third, early fourth. I sent a text to one of my other buddies, big Jet fan, who could not watch the game also. And my exact words were, as soon as you get home, find highlights of this game, because it was car crash levels of you can't look away. I'm with you. It was disgusting to watch, and I want nothing more than to make everyone have to at least see the highlights of what I was watching. So I'm with you completely. It was an absolute disaster. But the second text, and I actually, as Graham Gano was going to make that last field goal that becomes the miss, in the line, ready to go to about anyone I know who watches football and at least is even a mild Jet fan, I had texted the words, honest question, is this the worst Jet loss in history? Because if he had made that field goal and that game ends, I genuinely think that might have been, and I know it sounds extreme, but that might have been the worst loss ever. If you watch that game in its entirety, the word that can only come to mind is lethargic. The Jets just looked simply like they did not care. And the more and more I'm watching this team, particularly Zach Wilson, you're getting the vibe that he just does not understand how important so many little victories are for the Jets. We have been the whipping boy of so many different situations. We've been the Giants' little brother for 50 years. We've been the Patriot. We've been the entire AFC East little brother forever. We have just been, laughed at for so many years. And to us, beating the Giants, if we could have gone out and beat the Giants 40-3, for the Giants, okay, it's just another loss in a lost season, but that would have been like the Super Bowl for us. And it just feels like Zach Wilson's attitude is, 3-4 or 4-3 in October, who cares? It's the same thing. And you just, the reason that we haven't seen, when has Zach Wilson been good this year? When he's playing the Chiefs? And in the final 10 seconds of a game, he had to go down the field and win this week, right? When the pressure's on, he looks semi-competent, but he just doesn't seem to understand that when you're a Jet, these little victories matter. And so if he were to somehow stay, he's not going to. Aaron Rodgers is going to come back next year, and Zach will fade back into obscurity. But
so not to cut you off, but I'm taking that you don't believe that he's coming back this year.
I don't think it is. I don't think he is. No, to be quite honest.
Right.
I'm not sure if somebody told him keep the hype train rolling just to get these.
I think he's taking a little bit of. Yeah, I think
he did it on his own, but
I think he's taking a little bit of too much ayahuasca, if you ask me personally.
Something. Yeah. Savage. It's just a matter of who's staging this, but it's definitely staged just to get hope up.
But I do like the fact that he does want to come back. I mean, that does say something, and I'm an actions over words kind of guy anyway.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. But back to what I was saying, if Zach was our quarterback every year for a decade, you could pretty much bet that we would lose. We'd be like 1-1, and we'd lose a dud to like the Cardinals or the Browns or something like that, because he does not seem. Think about it. He was much better at BYU. When you're in college, especially not at a power school, if you lose a game, it's over, right? If BYU goes 11-1, their season is a dud. You can't lose a game. So he was always in that win-or-go-home situation. Now you drop to 2-3 playing whatever, playing the Commanders or something. Who cares? It's early in the year. You have plenty of time to make it up. And I feel like he doesn't understand how many we're Jet fans, right? How many years have we been mathematically basically out of it by Halloween? Well, how many years do we start 1-6 or 2 all the time, right?
Oh yeah.
And that was going to be my next question, though. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you guys won, So it's like, you guys have stuff to look forward to. I think personally, after beating the Eagles, right? I mean, whatever. Let's move on, right?
It's 1 out of 13. I get it.
Yeah, you guys face a team that's kind of inferior, and just like I see it all the time with the Eagles. We play down to our competition. I think that could have been it.
I think that's definitely it.
Because I think Zach Wilson showed a lot of like moxie. I mean, I was the first one that would clown on any New York quarterbacks. But he came through, and I feel like him doing that against the Giants, it was ugly. But as long as he was able to pull through, I think you guys have a lot to look forward to. You know, I think you guys put too much on the Aaron Rodgers thing. Like you guys on an Asian quarterback, it's not even like you guys got him. And
I mean, to be fair to us, we were actually sold a bill of goods over the entire offseason. I always say that the Jets are the Yankees of the offseason. We always know how to dress it up and make it look good. We always get the nice acquisition, and Joe Douglas knows how to make these picks and these trades and everything. And the preseason, we look pretty decent, but when it's actually come to the regular season time, it's like I say it so many times on the show. I feel like I've seen this movie before. I know how it ends. So until it changes, I don't know how to else think different. And seeing things like us finally beating the Eagles, that is a good sign that maybe the tide is turning a little bit. But then afterwards, we're brought right back into reality when we lose games that we're not supposed to. I remember back in 2019 when the Cincinnati Bengals, before they had Joe Burrow, they had the worst run defense in the entire NFL, and we had a spectacular running game. I think not with Frank Gore, but with somebody else. I forget who it was, and we couldn't even get. We didn't even score a touchdown in that game. It was the only points we scored were 2 kicks, 2 field goals, and they mollywopped the Jets like 28-6 or something in that game. So it's like we don't know how to. We can't even lose right.
Right.
It's just there's just so much ineptitude, and I say it all the time. I feel like I've seen this movie so many times, and until something changes, why should I think otherwise? And it's almost, and there's just also frustrating moments that happen in the season. Like the Patriots right now are a terrible team. I mean, maybe they'll get it a little bit figured out, but I don't think they're going anywhere this season. But at one point before the Buffalo game, that was their only victory against the Jets. And you see how they're playing, and like how is it that we almost beat the Chiefs? We beat we should have beat Denver because they're a terrible team. We beat the Eagles, and then we also beat the Giants, who we actually should have not only just won that game, but we should have killed them in that game. And it was like it went down to the wire. So at this point, I'm just kind of despondent. I'm a little nervous about this Charger game coming up because this is a game that we are underdogs on our home field on Monday Night Football. That's another thing that scares me too. With the exception of a couple of games this season, when we play under Monday night or Sunday night under the biggest, brightest lights in the NFL is where not only do we lose, but there's something embarrassing that happens. You have the Mark Sanchez buff fumble. You have the Sam Darnold icy ghost game. You have I don't know. I feel like if they lost against Kansas City, it would have been the Swifty game because of Taylor Swift. There's just something that always adds to the stink of a Jets loss, and that's why I go back what I was saying. Until I see something different, why should I think otherwise?
Well, so the Chargers are the better team than the Jets. I just think they're the more complete team. So I don't.
Well, they have the quarterback. Right. That's for sure.
I'm not gonna. And I mean that defensive line against what's left of the Jet O line should cause some nightmares for sure.
Yeah.
But why I like the Jets at least to be competitive in this one, if not pull out the W, is back to what I was saying about Zach Wilson. Intangibly, this game means nothing. The Chargers are not a rival. Where there's no, it's not like we're. The game in London this week, and it's a chance to become an international superstar or some sort of that. It's just another game on paper in terms of the opponent you're playing. But you're absolutely right. In terms of where we are in the year, this is effectively the Jets Super Bowl. Because we knew coming in, at least I knew coming in, when you asked me what's up in the AFC, I said 8 teams fighting for 7 spots. And right now, those other 7 teams besides the Jets are 5 of them are ahead of the Jets right now.
Right.
The Bengals are with them. Mm-hmm. And the Chargers are 1 game behind them.
And the Bengals are picking up steam right now.
And the Bengals are going to pass everybody eventually.
Yeah.
So if
Joe Burrow is continuing to show me more and more how he could be not exactly Tom Brady, but like the next essence of what that's going to be like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if the Chargers win this game, you are now basically tied as the first team out, so to speak, amongst the teams. Like with all due respect to the Texans or the Browns. I don't fully believe in them. Plus, you play them, so you can still get back ahead of them.
Correct.
But the Chargers are a team that I don't think, like going back to what you were saying about the Patriots. The Patriots have been a thorn in the Jets' side for I don't know, most of our lives. 20, 23 years, whatever. And then any other rookie will tell you beating Belichick. Any young quarterback will tell you beating Belichick would be a major achievement.
Oh, absolutely.
And they all play better. But Wilson, it's like Wilson doesn't ever pick up a newspaper. It's like he doesn't understand any situation ever. And so, of course, he stinks against the Patriots because, well, any other quarterback with a drop of common sense is playing better. He looks at him and goes, oh, they're beatable, and just seems to let his guard down. Wilson seems to only look and say, better opponent, I'll play better. Worse opponent, I'll play worse, with no idea of the context behind it.
That's a great way to say it.
Let me ask you a question, because you're bringing this up, and it's kind of giving me like this vibe. Would you say he kind of reminds you of like a Jay Cutler?
Oh, great analogy. I mean,
close.
especially because,
Very
coming from, being a person of privilege and, just kind of like, if it's a great team, I'll play great. If it's a worse team, I'll play bad. That's actually a great analogy.
That look that he always had on the sideline, win or lose, like he just didn't care. That's what you were describing that. I'm thinking of Jay Cutler. I'm like, wow, like,
it's in that same vein, with the difference being Cutler's arm could bail him out a little bit more.
Yeah.
I feel like Wilson. I mean, again, some of those throws he made against Kansas City were all world, but he doesn't do it as consistently. But yeah, in terms of that, you look over and you just go, does he recognize, like, we haven't beat this team in 10 years? Does he recognize that this is a team that actively hates the Jets? He doesn't. I can promise you he doesn't, because he would play better against he would have played better against the Giants if he genuinely bought into the history of the Jets. He would play better against the Patriots if he genuinely bought into the history of the Jets.
But here's what also kind of scares me. What also kind of scares me is that last year he was abysmal against the Patriots, and then he also had that infamous press conference that ultimately got him benched, and then Mike White was the starter going forward until he got injured.
Right.
And then during the offseason, they have Zach Wilson going in as the backup to whoever's starting, and everybody knew that it was going to be Aaron Rodgers. Everybody knew he wanted to come here. We finally acquire him, and automatically Zach Wilson. The whole plan was for Zach Wilson to play behind Aaron Rodgers the entire season. That changed within 4 plays of the first game in Week 1 against the Bills. So now, if you really think about it, Zach Wilson is still a backup quarterback, and the fact that he's in year 3, it really frustrates me when people say, especially all these analysts that think they know everything. They say like, well, Aaron Rodgers is not playing this year. He's going to be out. Maybe he'll come back later this year. Okay, whoop-de-doo. But we want to see what Zach Wilson has. Bro, we're in year 3. If you have to ask the question, we want to see what he is, then you really pretty much have your answer by year 3, in my opinion.
I mean, now, again, there are some exceptions. I mean, Josh Dobbs is, 75 years old, 85 years old? I mean, it feels like Josh Dobbs has been around forever. Not only was he at least a usable backup this year, a team trying to make a playoff run then traded for him to be their backup. So, I mean, there is definitely some value in, seeing what you have. But I'm with you, especially given where his initial draft placement was. His contract will expire, and he will just head off into obscurity. But was it Chet Henne who was the Kansas City backup last year, who had to come into a playoff game?
Yes, it was, yeah. I was going to say Matt Moore, but no, it was Chet Henne.
He came in, he literally just immediately took over. I feel like that when you watch his mentality, I think that could be Zach Wilson. Put him on a good team as a backup, so that if he comes into a game, it's probably in a good spot, in a game that he can win with the people around him, because he seems to play better in that more meaningful football. Like if for some reason, let's say, like, I don't know, Tampa Bay signed him, to a 3-year deal, and they're still this mediocre team, he's going to be terrible. He seems to need some sort of kick in the butt to move him along. And so if I were a GM of a team and I were trying to sign him to be my backup in 2-3 years when his contract expires, my first question would be, am I a good team? If the answer is no, I don't want him in my locker room. We saw what happened when he was the voice of a bad team last year. Right?
Yeah.
He literally became the joke of New York. So if he's going to end up anywhere, I think he ends up on a Super Bowl contender. And 10 years from now, Zach Wilson probably has a Super Bowl ring, and we're all here pissed at the world.
Another Keyshawn Johnson, another Jonathan Vilma. Although I shouldn't put Zach Wilson in those two Saints, because those guys were actual Hall of Famers.
You guys really think Zach Wilson will be in the league 10 years?
I'm sorry. I'm saying 10 years from now. He might win it the first year he leaves the Jets. 3 years he leaves the Jets. Yeah, but I'm saying I think some team will give him one more shot as a backup after his Jet contract expires.
Yeah.
And
they're definitely not giving him a 5th-year option. That's for sure.
No, absolutely not. But if that team has common sense, it will be a team that is good, because I really feel like Wilson understands the situation of, I need the situation, if he has no incentive to win, he's not going to give it his all. I mean, we've seen him play too many mediocre games against mediocre teams, or even bad teams in some cases. So If he ends up as Mahomes' backup, as Burrow's backup, I think there's a chance he ends up having some signature moments in games where those guys might go out with like a rolled ankle or something.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if he goes on that quarterback carousel in San Francisco, because it seems like it doesn't matter who you put at center. Kyle Shanahan will find a way to put you in the best position to win.
Right. I mean, that's how I feel about everybody, right? I mean, anyone can. There are very few people who I look at and go, no, they can't be on the 49er carousel, as seen by the fact that Garoppolo managed to just get benched by, I think, nobody. I mean, they literally lost their coach, and they're like, oh, and we also are giving up on Garoppolo. And it was like, who did that? Like, who benched him? There was no coach there at the moment. And that guy was loved in the system in San Francisco. So, yeah, I mean, that's all. I mean, Sam Darnold is,
Yeah.
I mean, anyone, that seems to be the exception. But in general, I would not, if there's an expansion team, like let's say in 2025, don't go out and get Zach Wilson. The dude can't quarterback a bad team. It's just that's inevitable. That's obvious at this point.
It sounds very Any Given Sunday to me, like when they did the new expansion team in Arizona, Willie Beeman was the starting quarterback. Although I would say Willie Beeman had a lot more stock than Zach Wilson at that point.
That's fair.
Now, you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that I do think Zach Wilson has talent. I mean, to make it
that's what I wanted to ask you, because you seem that you're pretty bullish more than a lot of others on Zach Wilson, but I also due to the fact that maybe because you're not a Jets fan that you see
not a Jets fan.
Exactly, or obviously, but because of that, I feel like maybe you see it from a different lens than us, since we look at the team with green colored glasses.
Yeah. Well, when I see Zach Wilson, what I see is just a mentality issue. Like, he might just be the type of person that just can't handle being in such a like big market, New York. It scares people sometimes,
especially since he came from Utah.
Exactly. Yeah. So he might do well in Indianapolis. He might do well in a team that doesn't have such a like big spotlight over. So I think if he moves, I think he'd be able to recreate himself. Of course, obviously as a backup quarterback, I don't think he's a starting quarterback, but I don't think that he gets the props that he should probably get. Because I mean, come on, like, you can't show that against a team like the Eagles, right? Yeah, we're still figuring it out, and we got the record we have, even though we're figuring it out. Eagles, you know what I'm saying? But still, like, for him to rally like that and to be able to beat that team,
reminding everybody why Eagle fans are, pretty at the bottom tier of fandom. But
I'm gonna go with that. But no, I really do think that he showed flashes, and I don't care who you are, as a man, as a competitor, that they gave so much for somebody like Aaron Rodgers, aging the way that he is, and to be like, you know what, I'm getting replaced, and I'm the laughing stock. That stuff probably seeps into him, and he's trying to kind of fight that off and play better. And I just think he's a mess right now in New York. I think if he's placed somewhere else, maybe on like a minimum contract and somewhere like Cleveland or anything like that, I think he reinvents himself. Look at Geno Smith. Geno Smith, he was with both New York teams, right? He was with the Jets.
He was with the Giants and the Jets, and
look at him in Seattle now.
And timeline-wise, Zach's about at if you're following Zach, if you're putting Zach parallel with Geno, we're about where he got punched out by a linebacker, and we're just shy of when he became a pariah for benching Eli Manning, and now the dude is beloved in a very tough town to play in. So, I mean, there is, I guess, in theory, still time. And I do just want to make it clear. I'm with you in the sense that I think it's more intangible than tangible. I think there is some skill there. We saw it when he played Kansas City. Where you and I disagree is I think it's more about winning and losing. I think if he doesn't care, that's the issue. Because I originally was with you. I originally said trade this dude to L.A. right away. Put this guy on the Rams. Let him replace Stafford. Just let him live out, like sunshine from Remember the Titans.
Along with Mike LaFleur.
Yeah, right. Just send them all out there. Let them all Jeff Fisher their way to 8-8 obscurity for the next 10 years. But no. Now I think it's more about, is he in a good culture than where is he in terms of media? Because again, I think if you put him on a bad Midwestern team, it doesn't matter that he's out of the spotlight. It's going to be the same result.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Now on the other side of that ugly game, focusing on Big Blue now, the Giants. So obviously, Daniel Jones. The crazy thing about it is that Daniel Jones was actually cleared to play before the game. Or no, he was cleared by the doctors, but you can't come into the game if you've been already graded to out. Because of the rules of the NFL. And then you had Tyrod Taylor. He gets injured, a pretty bad injury that he had to go to the hospital. Not before the game could even finish. And then they throw in Tommy DeVito. nice story, from Jersey, Don Bosco, prep, all the whole nine and everything. But you could see that they were ill prepared as far as like quarterbacks is concerned, because they did not allow him to throw. If I'm not mistaken, I didn't watch the game like I said, but there was actually a moment where the Giants fans in the crowd were actually chanting, "Let him throw, let him throw."
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know where the Giants are going right now. I mean, it's a little bit of a fall from grace how you had the coach of the year in Brian Daboll to now people are actually comparing him to Ben McAdoo, because it's feeling a little McAdoo-ish at this point right now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is the injury. I know that laugh. A lot of it is for sure the injuries. So I remember there was some of the guys on WFAN were saying that the Giants were going to be significantly better this year because since Evan.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it is.
can we get a little Chariots of Fire in
Oh, man. I feel like I was supposed to get up right now. I don't know. About 30 days back.
Yeah.
What's going on, brother?
What's up, bro? I can't touch you while you have that.
I
can dab you. I can dab you.
Nah, I got you. I got you a good luck charm, bro.
Oh, savage.
Daddy pose, man.
You keep that far from me. Keep the belt on this side. I was gonna give it to you.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by my lovely co-host, Ugo, boy.
Yahtzee, all that good stuff.
You go, boy.
Exactly.
What's up, boys?
So we're just picking up on the ugliness that was the Snoopy Bowl at MetLife Stadium.
My God.
We just capped off a little. We capped off a little bit about the Jets, and now we're talking about the Giants side. We were just alluding to right now how it's crazy how you have 1 year of Brian Daboll, his first year, where he's the coach of the year, to now it's starting to feel like a little Ben McAdoo-ish.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, so that game was on. I was simulcasting that game and the Cowboy Bram game because we had a 1 o'clock window game, and every time I looked up, it was a punt.
Well, there was more punts than actual points scored in this game.
What was it? 24 punts total.
I just want to point out that as soon as you mentioned Daniel Jones, that's when he arrived.
Someone said the NFC East.
He walks in, bro.
East.
It's like, I'm not listening to this. He's like, I'm not listening to
I'm
this.
just saying. X-Ball music.
Marv on point.
Oh man! Shout out to Marv behind the boards, man.
But
Yeah, man.
I mean, no. The one question on the radio Monday morning was, if you're either of those teams, why are you even attempting to receive the ball in overtime? Right? That's how bad that game was. The question was, if you were either coach, would you kick off in overtime? And yeah, I probably would have, honestly. Neither team wanted the ball at that point.
True.
Yeah.
But you can really see the difference between the two New York teams. That's the one thing that's fun about the Snoopy Bowl, is that you kind of get to see how both teams are appreciated in this town. And it's what I was saying when you walked in. There were people saying this summer, the Giants are going to be much better because their O-line's going to be better because Evan Neal is 1 year older, so naturally he's going to be better, which is one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard. And I
think he should be flipping burgers and hot dogs at this point.
With his attitude, too, he shouldn't even be in the league. But meanwhile, Zach Wilson has Zach Wilson is not good by any means, but he has these moments and everyone goes, but just wait. He's going to Zach Wilson himself right back to normalcy next week. And just the trust we have in the Giants in this town versus the trust we have in the Jets in this town is really on display when you see how, going into and coming out of this game. It's absurd.
Well, not just that. We talked about it on previous episodes when we were previewing the season.
Yeah.
Again, the New York media were hyping up these acquisitions like the Giants just picked up like the 72 Dolphins starting receiving core. Like Jalen Hyatt. Okay, like I'd never heard of him before last year in college football.
I remember when Dez actually already coined him as the offensive rookie of the year.
I remember that too. That was some foolishness. So Jalen Hyatt, Paris Campbell, he hasn't been good.
AKA their fourth string quarterback.
Exactly. A guy that couldn't be a fifth wide receiver on the Jets. that was their claim to fame in wide receiver wise. And Waller, who has a history of being hurt. Yeah. And shocker, is he hurt right now? Yeah. I think he is. He's going to miss the next game.
I bet the over-under is yes.
Yeah. Hamstring. Soft tissue injuries have been his problem since he's gotten into the league. And he's got Pro Bowl Travis Kelce talent. He got out of this world talent. But the guy can't stay healthy.
At the end of the day, in sports, it doesn't matter what sport you play. The best ability is your durability,
as well as availability.
Yes.
That's the other one. It's a twofold one, and that guy is not available, and he's gonna miss He's going to miss some games this year. Case in
He
point
already
this
is.
week.
Yeah.
He's missing games. Like I said, case in point right now. He's going to miss time. So, and finally, they finally got him going. I watched, if you want to call that going, 2 weeks ago against Washington. he scored a touchdown. It was their first offensive touchdown in like 50 weeks.
Yeah, okay,
you know
what
what
can you do? Yeah.
And you started to see shades of what could possibly be. But then again, they're rushing Danny Pennies back as soon as possible. Tyrod Taylor's hurt. So, they're going to rush him just in time for him to play Dallas. And I'm excited. The Daniel Jones that we all love. He'll be back in time.
Meanwhile, I can tell you in 2 words why the Jets offseason was better than the Giants. And I promise I'm going somewhere with this. But in 2 words,
Okay.
Thomas Morstead. Thomas Morstead, my man. If you haven't watched our show, I've been praising this man.
I've been on the
Morstead for a long while.
Yes, he did.
But
I want to give you your props for that.
Thank you
Yes,
very
because you
much.
have said
That's two Dom DeMarcos for this guy
Yes.
right here.
I'm keeping
He
score
called
this
it.
week.
He called it.
Let me get a Don Lemon for him too.
But no, why I bring that up is because when you look at just the list of the Jets guys and the list of the Giants guys, even though the Jets weren't particularly good last year, they felt they were building the right way. And so they went out and they got all these complementary players. They went out and got a punter, a return guy, offensive lineman, niche, those older defensive tackles like Al Woods we talked about, guys like
Randall
that.
Cobb.
And that was because Aaron Rodgers needed his
That's
teddy
all it
bear.
was, yeah,
That's a little bit
that's
different.
all it was, yeah.
But the point is that the Jets looked like we like what we have. Let's build around it. Meanwhile, you look at these Giants acquisitions, and these are more boom or bust acquisitions. A guy like Jalen Hylett, a guy like Paris Campbell are the perfect example of that, where they can go out and catch a 70-yard touchdown. They can also not have a catch for 3-4 weeks at a time. And
I felt like I was watching a repeat of the replacements with this offseason.
right, and with
Pretty much.
the Giants making the playoffs last year, you would have thought they would go, oh, we have something good here. Let's build around it. Let's get those accentuating pieces. But the fact they went so flashy this offseason kind of makes you wonder, did they just admit last year was a mirage? Did they not believe what they had last year was sustainable? And now we're seeing the result was, it probably wasn't. And they didn't do themselves any favors by trying to build around it anyway.
Well, them beating up on the AFC South gave them some false hope. We talked about this.
For
sure.
You beat up on the Titans. And you
Trevor
beat up on
Lawrence
the
wasn't
Texans.
Trevor Lawrence yet,
Exactly. And the Texans were the Texans.
Yep.
The Jags were the Jags, like you mentioned. The
Colts.
The Colts were the Colts. Like, come on, bro. You had Nick Foles at quarterback for the Colts. Just saying.
Can we get a Savage real quick?
Savage marked right back to outer space.
That was clutch, man. I'm glad you missed that.
I'm just saying.
There it is.
I watch football, bro. You see what I'm saying? So they beefed up on a lot of bad football, and then they got to the playoffs and played the biggest frauds. Joe Beningo loves talking about the Vikings. One of the biggest frauds in the Vikings.
Yes.
And you beat them in the playoffs. Like I called that one on our show. I was just like, the Giants are probably going to upset them, I guess, and they beat them. You see what I'm saying? So it's like
mollywopped them.
So they had this in their minds that, okay, we're a couple of pieces away, and we don't need. We can go kind of splash and kind of like mid splash, and we'll be right back in the playoffs or whatnot. And they were banking on Saquon staying healthy. And I said this before the season started when we previewed it. They are a Saquon injury away from everything crashing down.
Yeah.
And it's because when Saquon goes out, Daniel Jones is already Daniel Pennies, but when he goes out, he's not even pennies. He's not even U.S. currency. I told you, he's Sacagawea Moses like money.
It's
it's
Russian, it's Prussian francs at this point. They don't even exist anymore.
Exactly. So that's the issue that they ran into, and as long as their plan is to continue to rush back Daniel Jones, and since Tyrod's hurt, because again, Tyrod being healthy and low-key supplanting Daniel Jones, but that wasn't going to happen because of the contract. It's just too much money. You can't leave $40 million sitting. You see what I'm saying? Unless it be like a Carson Wentz situation. I'm not throwing shade either.
That's
again, it's like
that cut a little.
I'm just using it. But
Vietnam flashback.
I'll get to the shade. I'll get to the shade when we talk about the Cowboys game when we preview it. What I'm saying is Howie at least had the foresight. He at least had the foresight to be like, this isn't working. We paid the wrong guy. Let's draft a guy who's not going to be his replacement, but is going to be his replacement. Yeah. Let's get a guy in here early, and let's start the process, and let's get out of this contract. We're going to eat a lot of dead money. Let's get out of this contract as they hit the eject button, like freaking Tom Cruise and
Top Gun.
Top Gun. It's like, $40 million a year? You know what I'm saying? Like, they got out of that shit real quick. So I'm saying, like, the Giants are... they have to understand that when this season ends, and them missing the playoffs will be the best thing for them. Because if they mess around and get that 7th seed as a wild card or whatnot, with Daniel Jones, they're going to be thinking, you know what? Hey, let's just run this back again next year. Let's see what we got here. And that would be a colossal mistake.
Isn't it crazy? Because didn't they have that really bad pickup, wide receiver, Galladay?
Yes.
Kenny Galladay.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kenny Galladay. Yes. That was
Terrible,
Gettleman.
man.
That
How
was
much money did
Dave.
they give him,
That was
man?
Dave Gettleman. He was making like 20 mil a year, something like that.
And he only had like 1 catch in 1 season.
Oh yeah,
That gives him like Joakim Noah vibe.
Oh wow, that's 2 savages right there. That's savage right there. Yes, that's a savage right there.
I vote that they for the rest of the season, the New York Giants should be known as the Bad News Bears. I think
bad news.
It's possible.
That feels about right.
All right, now shifting gears here a little bit. So from one ugly game to one looking like it's going to be a great divisional game, and I just want to remind you two, I'm in between y'all and I watch the hair. I want to see.
I heard one move before we try to move it, bro.
Yeah,
I would never mess up the freaking Bobby Cavanale hair for Boardwalk Empire. Never. The Chip Rossetti hair is safe.
I could only wish to be like Bobby Cannavale. Shout out to Union City. That's your home. That's your hometown. Yeah. You probably related to him anyway.
Chip Rossetti, you're the best. You're the GOAT.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, this I love. I'm not an NFC guy, obviously, but I do love watching divisional games and watching one annoying fan base to one that should probably be in a psycho mental ward. Actually, I should flip that around. Those two fan bases going at it. Those two teams going at it. It's WWF for me. That's all it is for me.
Yep.
So I'm gonna let you guys take over this little. It's definitely not a pillow fight. This is actually a heavyweight match, right?
This is a heavyweight championship fight.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm gonna let the guest go first because I feel like he needs to bring the energy. He wants to bring the energy, especially after last episode. So come on, bring it.
First of all, I just want to say I find it funny that you have a championship in front of you, but this signifies that more. But whatever, we're gonna move on.
Okay.
Can we get a sandwich?
But now, honestly, with the Eagles and the Commanders, it's always an ugly game, man. I remember I went to a game with Sam Bradford as quarterback.
Oh, wow. God, that's a name.
And Kirk Cousins was still the quarterback.
Zoom in tight on Mongo.
And man, I felt that
Lord.
beating hard, man. It rained and everything. It was just a gloomy day. So, Commander, they just play when they play the Eagles, man. They just come out with a different energy. And when it comes to the Giants, they get slapped. When it comes to the Cowboys, it's not even competitive. When it's the Eagles, it's just ugly, man. But like I told you guys before, Eagles have this tendency of playing down to their opponents.
True,
hopefully we don't play down to our next opponent. But we just have to be able to bring that next time, And I don't know. How do you feel?
I mean, listen, I knew it'd be a close game because again, they get up to play y'all. They get up to play us too, but
they take it personal, man.
Yeah,
they take it personal.
Yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, Ron Rivera looks like a competent coach when he's coaching against you guys for the most part until the critical moments, and then you start to see the lapses and why he'll be fired eventually for Eric Bieniemy. I still believe that. That's why ownership hired him to begin with. But
it might be Belichick, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. X-Files theme included. So I mean, I think that I wasn't surprised that the game was close. I wasn't surprised that Washington, that Sam Howell threw a party on you guys. Like we mentioned this. We mentioned this last time you were on here.
Yeah.
Your secondary is a problem. And you know it's a problem. You don't go out and get 31-year-old Kevin Byard at the trade deadline if you're not desperate for help on the back end. And understanding that, your strength is up front. Your strength is your pass rush. But when that pass rush doesn't get home, it is messy. It's messy on the back end. And so Howell was throwing a party.
But Howell's not really a scrub either. Like he's not like I'm not gonna say he's like Aaron Rodgers.
See,
but
he's
not a scrub.
I'm not passing judgment on him to the end of the season because with that he's thrown 2 parties on you guys. But I watched him against Buffalo and it was a horror show. I think they got shut out that game. I think they might have scored 3 points against Buffalo at home. And I saw the same Sam Howell lose to the Bears at home. All right, so
the Bears.
So Sam Howell is on borderline trash. much, honestly, unless he's playing the Eagles. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, and he didn't look that good against the Giants either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and the Giants aren't the 85 Bears. So you see what I'm saying? So it's like, I wasn't surprised that it was a close game. And I wasn't surprised that A.J. Brown, who is on another stratosphere, I hate the Titans GM so bad. Well, he's fired now. He's not even there anymore. And like rightfully so for trading, because A.J. Brown, I mentioned it when you were here before, he was one of my favorite wide receivers until he put that green on. I was about to get an A.J. Brown jersey. Big Swole, bro, mans was putting up numbers left and right on a bad Titan. I felt for him too. I was like, dang, he's going to go down as like, you know what I mean, one of those great Hall of Fame wide receivers that just played it on a trash team and never did anything or whatnot. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, but he gets traded to you guys, and it's the same effect that T.O. had with Donovan McNabb. It's the same exact effect. You got a quarterback. No, hear me out. You got a quarterback that's good and that had traits and that's ascending, but you put a superstar around him, you see that, you see the skill and everything take off. Same with Romo. When Romo got T.O., same effect. Same effect. And you saw it when he had Dez when T.O. left. You put a superstar wide receiver around him, the numbers go up, the ability goes up, everything just shoots up because now you see them at their best.
Yeah.
So I wasn't shocked that it was a close game, and I wasn't shocked that it was a lot of offense. Yeah. And so, because that's typically what happens when they play. They get up to play you guys for whatever reason. They take it personally, like the Jordan meme when they play you guys. You know what I mean? So it could have gone either way. Just like think about this: they go for 2 in Philly. And not go for, and not kick the extra point and force overtime. You guys could have very well split, just like you did last season. But you know what I mean. You guys won both games. You guys are pulling out games late, like you've been doing all year.
Well, that was going to be my point. Is we got to talk about the other quarterback. Jalen Hurts. Like a lot of these close games, he's put in positions, or he's putting himself in positions where he's turning the ball over, or he's just making mistakes where you're just like, wow, you were in the Super Bowl last year. Like, what's going on? But the way he's answering back, like that pick 6 he threw, come on. The very next play, he throws it right down to A.J. Brown. That shows me anyway, because like I said last time I was here, I was a huge Carson Wentz fan, and I was like, you know what, Carson Wentz he just had all the mechanics.
I'd rather root for Sam Bradford.
Well, there was at one point where it was compared a lot between Dak and him because they came to the league.
Same draft class. Class.
And everybody was like, "Nah, Carson Wentz is the new thing," and he made like his first 2 seasons, man, it was magic. When Nick Foles took us to the Super Bowl, right? It was Carson Wentz who got us there.
It was his best season. He looked like the generational he looked like the G word that season, and I was like, damn,
that dreaded G word.
Exactly. He was supposed to be MVP that year had that not happened to his leg.
I thought that was the guy we were gonna have to deal with for the next decade plus.
Exactly.
And then 18 and on. Will the real Carson Wentz please stand up? You know what I'm saying? But continue. I don't cut you off.
No, I mean all those are valid points as much as they hurt, because I still got a Carson Wentz jersey, but it's there collecting dust.
No, they should have a Tim Tebow jersey.
No. He was on the Eagles too for he actually I think he wore number 11 on the Eagles.
He just went to Philly for a cup of coffee. That's all.
But with Carson Wentz, seeing him how he played and stuff like that, and then when Jalen Hurts came in. I was one of those fans that was torn because I was like, all right, why are we bringing it? Like I know Jalen Hurts was good in college, but it just you didn't like the switch up that happened because it brought in question like, all right, we thought we had our generational quarterback or our talent or whatever.
Yeah.
And now we're bringing this.
And paid him.
Exactly.
Right.
And then you have Jalen Hurts that when you did give him the start, remember that game that we threw so we can get the higher pick? But we won't say that we did.
We talked about that. I swear we talked about that.
We won't say that we did, but I'm glad it happened because it got us Devontae Smith.
True.
You see the way, like, I think in that one game he had under 100 yards throwing, but he had like 80 yards rushing. Like he had more rushing than passing yards.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow, like this is trouble. Like we're gonna struggle at quarterback. And the fact that that he ascended from that to he has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, but a quarterback needs weapons.
Yes,
you can't expect the quarterback to do it. We've seen Aaron Rodgers, in Green Bay struggle with no pieces.
Yeah.
Because we see it with Patrick Mahomes. Those first couple of games they were dropping super open passes.
Right.
So the fact that Jalen Hurts has somebody who can reciprocate that effort and stuff like that. You know, I just want to say it allows him to kind of prove to everybody else what he can do, like the guts that he has, like his mentality changed. Like we were talking about Zach Wilson. He just looks like he doesn't have the mentality, the mental strength to be able to pull out games or to be able to come in and say, yo, you know what? If there's that dog, I'm gonna release. And with Jalen Hurts, I just feel like he's showing that, man. And you know, I'm glad that that I'm wrong. I'm a man who can admit when he was wrong. Jalen, I'm sorry. You know,
For an Eagle fan to say that.
You
For
know?
an Eagle fan, where my camera at?
Stop,
For an Eagle
bro,
fan to say
stop.
that.
You guys,
That's
yo,
hard, bro.
Stop.
It's hard.
No. This is not a pillow fight, man. Come on,
Stop. First of all, Cowboy fans are the most delusional fans I've ever seen in my life. They had one successful game, and they're gonna win it. They're gonna win it. They lose to a good team, and it's like, oh no, it happens.
It's hard to be delusional when you're a 5-time Super Bowl champion. It's hard. I'm sorry.
Five-time
It's
Super
hard.
Bowl
It's
champ.
hard. It's hard. The five
Me and
isn't
Mongo
going
just sipping
anywhere.
on teas at this point.
It's hard. It's hard.
Can you please tell us when that happened? Though?
Oh, yo, Marv, you got that drop. It's CM Punk saying, "Stop me when I'm telling lies." It's in there. It's in there. I put it in the folder and also put the we suck. You didn't put a new one? Oh man.
Can I get a Chris Tucker instead then? Just
Give me a Chris
because-
Tucker then. Give me a Chris Tucker then. Give me a Chris Tucker then, man. Oh my goodness.
Give me a Don Lemon while you're at it.
Always.
What I'm saying is, listen, I wanted to rename Keep That Same Energy. I wanted to rename it Stop Me When I'm Telling Lies, but I'll be ready for the next show. It's all good.
Oh.
But this is Keep That Same Energy.
Is this Joel Fermetta or Stephen A. Smith to my left over here?
I'm gonna get a
Might
giant
be Colin Coward.
Give me a savage for that fighting word.
You got that jersey, man. I can't. I didn't know. He didn't tell me he was gonna wear that jersey. But anyway, I gotta take this. So
Well, I knew he was bringing the jersey. I didn't know he was bringing the bobblehead. So
see, the bobblehead took it over the top. So I'm gonna take it there, and I got Mongo here with me. He'll back
I'm
me up
actually
here.
happy to see that because he's the reason why Tom Brady has 7 rings instead of 8. So
There you go.
He's allowed. He's
A
allowed
hero to many.
So what for this segment of Keep That Same Energy is brought to you by First Class Second Place Podcast.
merch have been available. Hit me up on the DMs.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed.
As well as the You Go Boy podcast, streaming on all digital platforms. Grab the merch in the link below.
boy.
So
Yahtzee.
So what I will say, so this narrative that Dak Prescott struggles against good teams is true. It's valid. But for the purposes of this segment of Keep That Same Energy, he does not struggle against the Eagles. And you know he does not. The last 3 starts against the Philadelphia Eagles, Mongo, help me out here with the math. He's 3-0 in his last 3 starts against you guys. He has put up 41 points, 51 points, and 40 points. Mongo, if my math is correct, that's 132?
Yeah.
That's 132 points in the last 3 times he's played you guys. He has played Jalen Hurts one time, head to head.
Yeah.
Who won that game?
Okay.
No.
Obviously, you're baiting me here.
That's all I'm saying.
You're baiting me here. So like, obviously, yeah.
So what I'm saying is, and against the Eagles career-wise, he is 8-3 against the Eagles. He is 27-4 against the NFC East. The only quarterback that has dominated his division like Dak is Patrick Mahomes to the AFC West. You see what I'm saying? So you guys absolutely have the edge coming into this game. I'm not going to deny that whatsoever. Roster building, team building, Howie Rose has been in his bag. But I hope that you're not one of those Eagle fans that come in and say, listen, Dak's about to blow it. You know he doesn't show up in big games. He ain't going to show up today.
Oh, that beautiful smirk is already
exactly.
saying it. I see it.
I am 100% the type of person to say that.
I
am 100%. He's trying.
You would say that,
He's a stat stuffer.
but it's cap.
He's a stat stuffer.
3-0,
That's all he is.
3-0
Everything you just
stat
mentioned
stuffing?
right now is stats. It's stats. That's it.
It's not stats. It's facts. It's facts. It's a
What are you
difference.
talking about? He's like the Russell Westbrook of the NFL. Like he might as well get a triple double every game.
Wow.
It doesn't matter.
So 3-0
he hasn't won anything.
3-0 doesn't mean anything. 8-3,
First of all,
27-4.
all right. I don't have it in front of me. I don't have it in front of me. But have you guys swept us in a season? And when was the last time that happened?
The last time we swept y'all was 2021.
So you guys swept us that year?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
So all right, I'll eat that. But I wasn't sure. I said it. All right, but did you guys go anywhere in the playoffs?
No.
All right, so there you go. That's all that matters.
We did not.
But my point is that we usually split the games.
We
right?
do.
For
We
whatever
do.
reason, we split the games. And rival games are just tough, man. It happened with the Commanders.
It's
now, you
facts.
guys have to say, you guys are looking at each other like, no, we're going to leave the room. No, you guys are going to stay here and
No,
listen.
it's okay.
Like, oh, should we get out of
It's
here?
okay because there's respect. There's respect
Yeah.
amongst the rivalries.
Right now, I can't choose if I want either a Philly cheesesteak or barbecue right now. That's all I want right now. Yes, it is what I want. Yes, it is what I want.
But I mean, because again, all we can go off until the game is played on Sunday, 4 o'clock, late window, national game, America's
Should've been
game of the
a
week
primetime
on Fox.
game,
It should have been flex. It really should.
Yeah.
All we can go off of is common opponent, and the common opponent is sitting right here with the Jets.
Yeah.
Like that same Jet team that gave you guys problems. Jalen Hurts had 4 turnovers in that game,
Yeah.
3 interceptions,
3 interceptions.
and a fumble.
Thank you, Michael Carter.
I'm just saying that same Jet team we beat 30-10. No strays.
Yeah.
No strays. So what I'm saying is though, I said that we would split. We are not sweeping you guys, and I am not sitting here and saying and allowing myself to believe that you guys are going to sweep us. It will be a split. And I was going to pick us to lose, but the fact that you brought the jersey and that the fact that you brought both of that here on this platform, I can't pick against Dallas. Give me the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? 27-24. Dak with a game-winning drive to win it. He's got 20 of them. Most of them on active quarterbacks is Dak Prescott. Rain Dakota. I'm sorry. Russell Westbrook. The Russell Westbrook of the NFL. 20 of them. 20 quarterbacks.
Triple-double city, man.
That might
no
have
rings.
that might have been the dirtiest comment of the
That
whole
was
thing.
dirty. That was
Russell Westbrook embarrassing.
I need a shower after that. I need a shower after
The
that.
kids call that nasty work. So yeah,
As the kids say, it ain't him.
he ain't him.
Listen, my thing with Dak is just that even you guys don't want him. So like you're sitting here and talking, even you guys don't. What are you talking about?
No, that's
How
cap.
many people? Listen,
That's
you guys.
cap.
Listen.
That's cap.
I feel like the Giants fans are the most, and sorry but not sorry, are the most like biggest bandwagon fans I've ever seen.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's like, I live here in the Meadowlands.
I
So
said
I'm
this
a
in a
Giants
previous.
fan.
I said this in a previous episode.
We've said that together.
I said this in a previous episode that I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Giant fans out there that think that Eli Manning's still the quarterback.
Yeah, that's facts.
No cap.
Nah, for real. And then you have the Cowboys fans, which, man, the most annoying fans I've ever seen in my life. One of them actually invited me to watch the game this
The Patriots are
Sunday.
saying "Hold my beer," but
Exactly,
anyways.
and Eagle fans are saying, "Hold my chili cheesesteak." You know what I'm saying? Like, goodness gracious. No, so let me refute that. And we've mentioned this. I'll turn it to Mongo to get his take. We have been in lockstep with this. The way the national media works is you've got people that believe they take hot take shows as Bible.
Yeah.
So again, this is the analogy I used probably on episode 1 or 2 of this show right here. The national media is Willy Wonka. All right, remember the Willy Wonka analogy?
Oh yes.
All right, picture this. Story time. Can I get X-Files? Can I get X-Files music? The X-Files theme. The X-Files theme. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, right? From the files of Mongo just making stuff up.
It's a regular segment on our show.
It really is.
I love that segment.
So picture Willy Wonka is this marketing genius, which he is. Listen, buy my chocolate, get a golden ticket, come to the factory, your dreams will come true. You know what I'm saying? Sells billions of dollars on chocolate, candy, the whole nine. And then say an epidemic breaks out, brand kids get sick from his chocolate. All right, like left and right, like diabetes 3 goes up through the roof. Kids are sick from his chocolate. And then they interview Willy Wonka, and he's just like, "Wow, why did all those kids get sick? I mean, I said get the golden ticket. I didn't say get sick. I said eat my chocolate. I didn't say get sick. That's your fault. What would you? You know what I'm saying? That's stupid. That's the national media. I'm trying to tell you, that's the national media. I'm being facetious, but I'm being serious at the same time. This is what the national media does at the beginning of every season, bro. And this man will attest to this because I'm about to pass it right to him. The national media at the beginning of the season, they say this is the Cowboys' year. They say that.
Yes.
ESPN says that. Fox says that. All the clown take shows.
Faux sports.
Faux sports. Clown of the week on the way. Loading. Like all the clown take shows. They do this year in and year out, and they hype up a percentage of the fans that you're talking about. Yeah. There's a percentage of our fan base, just like a percentage of any fan base, that's toxic as hell. Yeah. That's just like, yo, every year, fire the coach. get rid of them, GM, get rid of the quarterback, no matter what. They can have an up and down season. And sometimes it's warranted. Sometimes, the coaches and GMs and quarterbacks do need to go. But sometimes, okay, it's a down year. A hard reset and a rebuild, that's tough. That's tough sledding or whatnot. But we have a percentage of our fans that buy into the hot take shows, and they go lockstep and say, oh, you know what? It is our year. You know what? We didn't really do enough in the offseason, but we're going to win a Super Bowl. It doesn't matter or whatnot. Yeah. That's that percentage, and it's a very small percentage. I'm not in that percentage. And the circle of Cowboy fans that I talk to, we're not in that percentage. Yeah. See what I'm saying? We watch the hot take shows like we watch wrestling. Stephen A. Smith, he's an idiot. He's a clown. He's funny. You know what I mean? That's entertaining, but he's a Cowboy insider. Yeah. He doesn't talk to anybody in the organization.
He's the LA Knight of ESPN.
I feel like he does that to troll Skip Bayless.
He does.
Because Skip Bayless is the biggest Cowboys fan.
But likewise, Skip is an even bigger part of the problem because Skip Bayless isn't a fan of the team either. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. He's an actor on TV.
He wears a Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey when Tom Brady was playing.
Exactly. Well, they have full...
How do you spell fraud?
Bro.
SKIP.
Bro, they have full segments on the Cowboys on Undisputed and during our bye week. During our bye week, why is Undisputed talking about what is Dak doing during the bye week? I hope he's not throwing interceptions. Yeah. I'm like, you see what I'm saying? Like, those are real segments. And you got speak with freaking Joy Taylor, a pass clown of the week, and Shady McCoy, a pass clown of the week, doing the same exact thing. But what I'm saying is, a percentage of the fan base, they buy and they eat that shit up, bro. And they're the ones that they're like the face of the delusion. They're the delusional ones. They're a minority, though. The majority of our fans are not that. So you can say that. You can say, I'll even admit it. You can say a percentage of our fan base is annoying and delusional, whatnot. That's the minority. That's not the majority. Yeah. And I'm not a part of that. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, and let me just pass it to Mongo real quick. That's the biggest face to what you're talking about, whatnot, and it's the disconnect of what really is with sports media and sports entertainment. Mongo, you take it from there.
This segment of Keep That Same Energy is brought to you by You Go Boy.
Streaming on all digital platforms.
Go boy.
Streaming on all digital platforms.
Go boy.
I was gonna fully back you up until you just informed us. Do you think Willy Wonka's tagline is actually "Hooty hoo"? Did we watch the same movie?
I didn't know Master P was in Willy Wonka.
I got mixed up with Silk the Shocker. Sorry.
I'll back you up some of the way, but we're gonna have a conversation.
Save it for the Patreon.
I'll bring this back to Dallas and Philly because in a minute, but I'm the Jet guy. We're the Jet guys, so I can bring it back there slightly. Our Lord and Savior Joe Beningo back in the summer, if you remember, said no excuses for the Jets this year. It doesn't matter that their schedule's easier in the back half. They got to get off to a fast start because when you're a good team, there are no excuses.
Opening day, coach, a must win.
Facts.
Correct.
Facts.
And
we did get it. We did get it.
Exactly
Facts.
like that.
Facts.
But as soon as the Rodgers injury happens, now all of a sudden it's 3-3. Let's throw a parade, right? All of a sudden you have that injury and you can just take everything you thought you knew and just throw it out the window. Well, we come back to Dallas here. The whole gimmick with the Dallas defense was you had an elite player at each level. That was your thing. That was your calling card. Right. That was why Dallas was so feared because you literally couldn't go anywhere on them without running into a Pro Bowler, or if not better than a Pro Bowler. Well, you lost one of those.
A big one.
Nobody's changed the story. They're still holding you guys to the same expectations.
Agreed.
That's not fair, and that's happening at a national level. But I'm absolutely with you on what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. And Deron Bland is playing well. I don't want to dispute what he's doing, but he ain't Trey Diggs. He's not. The drop-off is still a drop-off. No, and coming into this matchup with you guys, just going on to that real quick before you get to your point, I would have loved to see Trey and AJ go at it because that was box office twice last year. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it would have been box office again because they kind of cancel each other out. AJ's going to get his, but Jalen played with friggin' Trey at Bama. He's only going to throw it there so many times because it's going the other way. That
would have been going to be eating popcorn watching that matchup.
For sure. For real. But bring your point. Back to your point.
Well, I was just going to say, I do want to give you props. You're definitely one of the more humble Cowboy fans, despite today's showing.
You
But,
got sorry,
But that's
I saw the jersey and the bobblehead,
Is it the trigger?
and
I
I almost got the sunglasses and called Dallas Go Boy. I almost called him, but he's told me he's not showing up unless we beat you guys.
I got
So,
you.
yeah.
I actually got you one, so don't worry about it. My other point was going to be, I just want to clarify something with Dak, right?
Right.
I actually, I'm not blind. Like the kid can play, right? I'm not gonna say he can't. But a lot of our point that we were bringing up before with Zach Wilson, again, the mentality. Like, I think that market at some point is just going to be too big for him because every single morning there's somebody talking about the Cowboys. And I know because when the Eagles do something good, let me hear the Eagles. Let me hear the highlights. Let me hear them get pampered a little bit, and it never comes because we just talk about the Cowboys. Anything can happen in the sports world, right? I know this. The thing that happened with Hamlin last year. I'm pretty sure at some point, somewhere, somebody included some Cowboy talk in there.
Yeah.
Like, there's just
Skip
always
Bayless.
Cowboy.
Yeah,
Skip Bayless.
he
Like
did.
literally
Yeah.
Skip Bayless.
Yeah. So, like, when you have somebody like Dak, like, that has to weigh on you, man. You're literally on the biggest market in the NFL, and it's just, you're labeled America's team. So at some point, I feel like that has to mess with him, man. And like being on there, at some point, he's probably not going to even want to play football anymore, And then you have those pieces, and they expect you to really perform. So I feel like Dak on another team, I'd like him. It's just, listen, you guys can feed
It's just a
hungry
star on
kids,
his head.
and I still wouldn't like you guys. It's just
It's understood.
It's
It's
just
a
how
rivalry.
it is.
It's
Yeah,
understood. It's
Yeah,
understood.
yeah.
But to go off of that point, we mentioned it on Sports Talk Live. He was right next to me, like lockstep. I said this. When Dak doesn't play well, I give it to him. He gives it to him. He actually gives it to him worse than I give it to him. But we give it to him when he doesn't play well.
Yeah.
And it was post. We'll get to it. And it was post the 49er game. Like, Halloween came early for us.
Yeah.
Like, that guy, Whack 100 Prescott, he showed up. And I said this before the season started. I said this at the end of the season when we lost to San Francisco for the second time. And we'll get to San Fran because they're going to get some of this sauce too.
Yeah.
Because Brock Purdy, Mongo's favorite quarterback.
Talking about common opponents.
we'll get to them.
Speaking about common opponents, we beat San Francisco. But anyway,
True, but you got to play this year. You got to play this year.
We do.
You got to play this year. So hold your horses there. So what I'm saying is, he has no excuse this year. Especially from the offensive standpoint.
Yeah.
Defensively, they lost Trey Diggs, all pro, top 5 of his position. But offensively, bro, your offensive line is intact.
Yeah.
They went up, the front office, who has been lazy like for years of just like, we trust our guys, we like our guys with the Jason Garrett
don't like to spend
era.
money.
They don't like to spend money. They stepped up. They got him Brandon Cooks this year.
Pause.
You see what I'm saying?
Pause. Why didn't you guys get Derrick Henry?
Because
you guys don't have it figured out.
The Titans made up their mind that they didn't want to shop him. The Titans put their foot down. We called about Derrick Henry. So national media pushed this narrative, and I know all of us heard in lockstep, the Cowboys need to make a move. Why won't they make a move? Jerry Jones is like, we're not going to make a move. I listened to every Cowboy insider, and they were like, the Cowboys were working the
busy
phones.
thinking about glory holes.
Exactly. The Cowboys were working savage. The Cowboys were working the phones trying to make a move, but the Titans wanted a first-round pick for a $12 million running back. Did we just cut a $13 million running back in the offseason named Zeke Elliott? I think we just did. So you tell me how that makes sense with a guy that's about to be 30, you know what I mean, in terms of bringing him onto the team for a first-round pick. It didn't make sense. And nobody made that move. Nobody offered Tennessee that contract. But because it's the Cowboys and Willy Wonka, Jerry Jones is our owner, like, we get the heat that we didn't even make an effort or whatnot.
You can't use that reference without making that.
But what I'm saying is, Dak has no excuse, especially this season, bro. Because from the offensive standpoint, you can't blame Kellen Moore anymore. Can't blame him. You can't blame the front office that didn't even make moves to get you players. You can't blame them anymore. You have a top 5 wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb. Give me some bombs with that. You have a top 5 wide receiver with CeeDee Lamb, Cedarian Lamb, first of his name. You have that. You've got Jason Ferguson, who's emerging as a tight end. You've got your full offensive line. Your full offensive line, which is for the first time since 2021, our playoff game, the first time the 49ers beat us, you have your full offensive line. You've got two tight ends, really. You've got Brandon Cooks. You've got CeeDee Lamb. You've got Tony Pollard. What else do you need? Do you need Zeke from 2016 to come in a time machine with Doc? You see what I'm saying?
You guys are gonna need DeMarco Murray.
You want DeMarco Murray from 2014?
You're gonna need DeMarco Murray.
You know what I mean? Like, what else do you
Former
need?
Eagle.
Everything they did, and we mentioned it on Sports Talk Live. Everything they did in the offseason was for Dak. Everything. We're gonna call plays for you. We're gonna bring in. We're gonna scheme for you. We're gonna make sure that CD is the focus. We're gonna tailor the offense to all your strengths. We're gonna feed Tony Pollard the ball. We're gonna do everything to make you better. If you still can't, and I'm not saying win the Super Bowl or bust. I'm not saying that. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to win Super Bowls, bro. But if you can at least
this guy says just Vince.
Exactly. Just get there, right? If you can at least go on some type of a run and go at least past the divisional round. I'll take past the divisional round. Something we haven't done since 1995.
Yeah.
I'll take that as okay. That's a step in the right direction. They're at least moving. You go one and done in the wild card round, or you lose yet again after being the NFC South winner or whatnot. You do that again. How can I defend him? A lot of Cowboys.
Do you want from me?
And here's the thing: a lot of Cowboy fans are going to have the same exact opinion as me because they're just like, yo, we did everything for you. They did everything for you. You know what I mean? So, what exactly? Can I get that one more time? Tyrese, one more time? Like, what
more do you want from me?
Like, we can only ride with you until we can't ride with you, bro.
Yeah.
You know
Do
what
we
I
have
mean?
any Tortorella by any chance? Do we have that drop anyway?
It was loaded up. It's not. Marv will have both ready. They're both downloaded and in the folder,
good.
but they have to be uploaded.
Because I think it's going to apply later on in the season and in the show.
I think so too.
All right, so actually, I have to get in the middle of this. I'm enjoying this fight
for
between
it.
y'all and everything, but I got to keep the show rolling,
Keep it
and we got to
moving.
get into our. But at the same time, I want you to keep that same energy. I want you to keep that same energy with the NFL predictions going into Week 9.
Yes,
so
sirski.
I'm gonna let our guests go.
Sorry.
Philly, I get it. Yeah. All right.
Real quick,
Yes.
my absolute biggest hope is that Nick Foles watches this episode and won't let us use his likeness, and we have to have a bobbled blur for the entire episode. That is my absolute hope.
That's a Dom DeMarco. That's a Dom DeMarco.
Nah, he's a true music.
Yeah. All right. So we already had the game yesterday with the Tennessee Titans against the Pittsburgh Steelers that ended in 20-16. I chose the Steelers, but that doesn't matter right now. So let's go ahead with the upcoming game. First of all the way coming from Germany. Prost. We got the Dolphins at the Chiefs. So I'm going to let our guest start. I'm going to let Joel go first. So what is your prediction for Dolphins Chiefs in Germany, in Deutschland?
I think Dolphins will definitely take this. I mean, they
I
have
hate you right now. I hate you right now.
Well, it's just the truth, man. Hey, listen, they're very wishy-washy. They'll kill one team one week, and then the next they could lose to us, which is not an offense, but like that secondary. I'm just keeping it real. Our secondary was, I mean, we held Tyreek to under 100 yards, but still it was scary to watch. It was like, all right, if we don't, send, Tua on his seasonal vacation, which is AKA concussion protocol, then we're gonna lose this game. Unfortunately, listen, I hate how that sounds, but
that's another savage.
you know what I'm saying? But him going against them going against the Kansas City Chiefs, Kansas City right now, I don't care what anybody says, they're not as scary as people make them seem. I was looking at their current schedule for 2023. It's cake, man. Who would say that they won the Super Bowl with the opponents that they faced, and they lost, I think, twice already. Because I think we only have 1-7-1 team, right? That would be us, yeah.
So you're
So
get another Dom DeMarco.
He has no idea what the segment actually is. He just saw an opportunity to drop Eagles blood all over the place and said, "Oh, good, I'll take the mic."
I actually left my flag at home.
You're where the battle is.
I left my flag at home. I definitely think the Dolphins will take this.
All right. Well, you're acting like a real Wiener Schnitzel right now. So, all right. But yeah, all right. You're gonna take Tuna Tagovailoa over Patrick Mahomes. I get it.
He basically just picked the Eagles to win the game. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. All right. So, Mongo, how about you? Dolphins or Chiefs?
So if you asked me to draw my best stereotypical drawing of a German person, I would effectively draw Andy Reid in Lederhosen. And I think that home field advantage is going to matter. No, in all reality, I feel like these overseas games tend to be more of a disadvantage to the teams that are more higher energy, and nobody is more higher energy than Miami.
That is true.
And so I think if they're gonna slip up anywhere, it's gonna be with the travel bug hitting them. So I think I'm gonna take Kansas City here because in a game that no one particularly wants to be at, Mahomes tends to find a way better than anybody.
I'll be sleeping off my second hangover by the time this game
I
kicks off.
have no interest in. I will not be awake for this one. It's a great game. If they could flex out of Europe,
Flex
in the
out of
future,
Europe.
yeah, that would be preferred.
Yeah.
There are so many European bounty. Like there are so many you could relegate this week, and we're stuck losing that game.
Right. How about you, Ugo? How about your pick for the Dolphins Chiefs?
I'm gonna go with the better quarterback. I'll go with Mahomes. Mahomes very rarely plays multiple bad games, and even with the jet lag included, and again, so it's going to come down to two things: whose quarterback I trust more, and whose defense I trust more,
And whose head coach I trust more.
and whose head coach I trust more. So let's go with the trifecta there, 3 for 3. And the Chiefs get the check box in all 3 categories. Plus, the Chiefs understand that their schedule is about to get harder, and it's about to get colder. And if they want to. If there's any year where they know they need the 1 seed, because I don't see this version of the Chiefs going on the road and making it to Vegas. They need the 1 seed more now than ever before. And I mean, they've hosted the AFC Championship game for the last 50 years anyway. But this year in particular, because we're starting to see the drop off that pretty much. Like, they kind of got away with it last year because they had just enough pieces with Juju and a couple other role guys, and Tony as well, and Isaiah Pacheco, Jersey guy. Running
Shout out to Rutgers.
Exactly. You know what I mean? They had just enough pieces to get over the hill and beat a certain team from Pennsylvania that I'm not going to mention. So, but
Can we get a savage?
what I'm saying is I trust them to understand that they need to kick things in overdrive right now because, again, we're at the midterm part of the semester. I mean, of the school year, and the exams only get progressively harder until you get to the final exam. Can you get to the playoffs and do something? And this is particularly where Mahomes tends to kick it up a bit. So I trust the Chiefs more to win this type of game.
Right. I'm lopsided with you. I just think that Andy Reid's the better head coach. Patrick Mahomes is definitely the better quarterback. The defense is definitely stout. And I also believe the jet lag is going to be a factor for the speed for the Dolphins. And I just feel like everybody wants to count out Patrick Mahomes because of the bad game that he had against Denver last week. I mean, it was just an aberration as far as I'm concerned.
He was sick. He was sick.
Yeah, exactly. And Taylor Swift wasn't there either.
He was.
You know?
I mean, you got
Taylor Swift is good luck trying to.
I was trying to get through this segment without talking about it, man, but it's not too late.
Yeah. Talk about bad blood.
I have to play her. Right. I have to play Shake It Off at every Harlem Wizard game. So
I see.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, but anyway.
Okay, I see what you did there.
Perfect, Marv. Perfect. I love it.
Marv on the boards.
Yep.
Marvelous.
Yep. So anyway, next game. Oh man, this is a looker. This game here. I'm talking about Sam Cassell ugly here. We're talking about the Chicago Bears at the New Orleans Saints.
Can we flex out of that game?
Yeah.
Put that in NFL Europe. Can that be the Germany game?
Send that to Europe. I'm telling you. How is this not a real thing?
So how do you have this? And just to let you know, they're not playing in Philadelphia. So let's go.
Okay. All right. Thank you for telling me. Honestly, the Saints. I would go with the Saints. I mean, that running game is crazy right now.
Mm-hmm. And Chicago is just a dumpster fire. Right
now. They're not even close to even figuring it out. I mean, Justin Fields is obviously. I was one that wasn't too much of a Justin Fields fan. I mean, he's a fantasy football god in terms of how many points he can score you. But in terms of the kid just doesn't have the tools to succeed there. So without him being there, and their running game is in shambles.
Right, and I'm actually surprised that Matt Eberflus still has a head coaching job before Josh McDaniels.
It won't last much longer.
No, it won't last much.
His divorce papers.
I'm just surprised that Josh McDaniels lost his job before he did.
Well, they're quietly looking for his replacement to go with the Caleb Williams draft pick.
Yeah.
Because they want to make sure they have the right coach.
Yeah. An offensive-minded coach.
Yeah, when they draft him. But no, again, I call this with Fields coming in and there was so much hype that he was going to be like a top 3 quarterback. Let's just say NFC.
I wanted him over Zach Wilson, but it doesn't look.
I don't think. I think if I don't think you want to go back in time on the freaking with Doc and Michael J. Fox, Back to the Future. I don't think you want to do that. So
no, I feel like a butthead.
No, so yeah, give me the Saints. I mean, the Bears want Caleb Williams, and they're going to get Caleb Williams.
Mongo?
2 questions here. One, is Fields even playing?
No, I think he's still out.
Just
I think he's still out.
Yeah.
And 2, does this game have to really happen? Those are my only 2 questions.
Give me 3 cannons. Load the cannons up, Don Cannons.
Cannon.
All right, and we also have another game with 2 deplorable states that have no state tax. We have Tampa Bay against Houston.
Ooh, delightful.
Sorry to get political, but I had to throw that in.
Man, that 1 o'clock window, man. I tell you. I tell you.
This is a go apple picking weekend.
This is an Apple TV game of the week.
Yeah, it's an apple picking TV game of the week right here.
All the Yankee caller curmudgeons are complaining about how they don't have streaming sites. This is the kind of game that's played.
That's what I want.
God.
That's what I want.
Yeah, but we got to make a pick. And besides for me, I'm going to pick the Saints over the Bears. That goes without saying.
Me as well. I obviously made a joke there, but give me the Saints.
No, you actually made a valid point. This game really needs to happen. Yeah. All right, but I'm actually going to go with the. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans over here. I just feel like, I don't trust Todd Bowles as head coach. Baker Mayfield is hot and cold. I don't know. Mike Evans is their best player, but he hasn't been able to produce anything so far this season for them. And Texas is just figuring it out. I mean, their quarterback is actually starting to really show some signs that he could be a really promising quarterback. I didn't want to use that G word. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
D'Amico Ryans, I think, is finding his footing as a head coach in this league. The defense is playing a little bit better. I'm sorry?
He's an ex-Eagle, by the way.
I'm sure he is.
Anyway.
Marv, at this point, just cut his mic off or something.
He's just waiting.
Yeah, it just came up.
Right. But anyway, but yeah, and it's also in Houston. I don't think that Tampa's a good traveling team anyway. I'm going to go with the Texans on this one.
Yeah, give me the Texans as well. I think they're not going to make the playoffs, but D'Amico Ryans is building the foundation. They're going to be a playoff team next year. You can book that. They're going to be a wild card,
especially in that division.
And they might even win the division. I forgot what division they played in for a minute. They're going to be a divisional champion, or
it's not the same division as the Eagles, by the way.
I wish we had the.
They don't want it.
I wish we could play the. We can't play the curve.
That would be a better Texas
channel
team,
get taken out. I mean, for copyright reasons. But this would be a perfect time.
I heard that, by the way. So it didn't go unnoticed.
Oh, okay. Cool.
No, I got you back.
Give me the Texans. Ryan is building he's building a playoff contender, and
absolutely.
So they'll lay the groundwork down this year.
Mongo?
The quarterback situation in the NFL right now, especially with the injuries, is so bad.
Oh God!
That the list of quarterbacks you can rely on more than C.J. Stroud is incredibly short. Like
just ask Aaron Rodgers, just ask Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Both on my fantasy team. In case
my God!
In case you're wondering who currently has a waiver bid out on the guy in Chicago,
give me a Savage for that. Give me a Savage for that. Another, and another.
I also have Desmond Ritter when we'll get that game in a minute.
God! Yo, 3 more. 3.
Savage.
And Josh Dobbs actually I lost all my quarterbacks in one. I had 3 quarterbacks on Friday. I now have none. But
you're riding the struggle bus like the Magic School Bus. Like Mrs. Frizzle's in the backseat.
Trust me,
This is Spike Lee's Get on the Bus.
He and Aaron Rodgers should be on the same doctorate right now.
Lord.
But anyway, the point is, I take the Texans because at this point, the same way that you would just blindly, usually week in and week out, be like, give me Mahomes, give me Burrow, give me the guys who just you can trust more often than not. Right now, who are you putting ahead of Stroud, really? I mean, it's maybe 5-6 guys. It's not a whole lot.
How about you, Joel? The Buccaneers or the Texans?
That's a savage. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I'll be catching it. I feel like I'm the odd man out here. But I'm going to be the odd man out here with my pick, and I'm going to say Tampa.
Okay.
I actually think Baker is playing with a chip on his shoulder. I feel like he didn't like what happened, with Cleveland. I feel like he's playing to stay in the league. And Mike Evans, I disagree with you, man. He was super covered on that last game. Like, he couldn't get open for any. I think he had like a 40-yard pass that just came back on a holding call, and then he came back, and on that same drive, which, mind you, there was a lot of lucky calls that went their way. He had an incredible catch, and that guy, he finds a way to be open even in that game. So I think they put it together, and I feel like they're a little, they got a chip on the shoulder will get them going.
Okay, all right. And moving on to the next, another sexy pick right here. The Arizona Cardinals at the Cleveland Browns.
These 1 o'clock games, man. Boy, oh boy, I tell you.
Oh my God.
I think the Cardinals beat you guys. I don't know. Did that happen?
Oh, wow.
Did that happen? I don't know if that happened.
Can we get a Savage real
I don't know
quick?
if did that happen or not. I don't know.
Oh man, that is not what I want.
That is a true story, ladies and gentlemen.
These games should be in Germany as far as I'm concerned.
So I happen to know that's a true story because, and I'll make my pick first as we go around. My strategy in a survivor pool I was in this year was
Okay.
to literally, except the 3 weeks there were repeats, just go against the Cardinals every single week. And for the record, I'd still be alive if it wasn't for that Cowboy game. So,
We could win. We could start a dynasty and win 3 straight Super Bowls. I'll never forgive us for losing to the
I
Cardinals.
will never forgive you for that.
Never.
I'm out because of that.
We made Josh Dobbs look like Joe Montana, bro. Like, that's like Jesus Christ.
My Josh Dobbs, by the way. So the
All the way
Brown-
in Minnesota now.
That's right. Trying to learn a playbook as fast as he, I guess as he wants to, because no one really cares at this point. But I had the Browns being my survivor pick this week if I was still alive, so I'll clearly take the Browns here.
All right. Joel?
I'd have to go with the Browns.
All right. Jalen Hurts is not playing, right?
Again, they wish. But no, I'd go with the Browns. I feel like they're an underrated team as well. That defense is pretty impressive. Even though Nick Chubb's, man, that was painful.
Also on my fantasy team, if you'd like to just really add to the fire.
I mean, Jim Schwartz and also with Myles Garrett, that's a scary defensive back right there. I'm taking the Browns on this one, especially this is a home game too.
I'm going with the Browns because the Cardinals are the only team that wants Caleb Williams more than the Bears. And one of them is going to get him. And Kyler Murray is going to get traded. I know they're thinking of activating him, which makes no sense because if he stubs a toe, they're on the hook for like $68 million regardless. So, yeah, he's going to be in a concussion protocol for the rest of the season. He's not playing. I'd be shocked if he plays.
Yeah, all right. Our next game is sounds like the Civil War here. The Washington Commanders against the Patriots.
Starring Mel Gibson?
Starring Mel Gibson. Produced by Harvey Weinstein.
Exactly.
Savage.
Anyways, for me, I'm going to go with the Patriots here, unfortunately. I think that Bill Belichick has a history of starting off late in seasons, especially even when the teams go to the Super Bowl. They always get off to a slow start, even when they had the greatest quarterback of all time. The Commanders are such a mess. Ron Rivera knows that he's on the way out. Sam Howell is this is an ugly matchup between Whack 100 and Sam Howell, right?
Whack 100 every time you say it.
Yeah, but it is home field advantage. You have a Hall of Fame a head coach over a very questionable coach that doesn't even know if he should even be in the league anymore. I think that better coaching here is going to prevail. I think the home crowd is going to be a big factor. And like I said, I just don't have any trust in Washington right now. So I'm going to go with the Patriots on this one.
Tell me you're tanking without telling me you're tanking.
Right.
That's the motto for Washington. You trade away the number 2 overall pick. I know he hasn't been. There goes that G word. He hasn't been generational since you drafted him because he's been injured a lot, but he's still he's had actually a pretty good season this year. I think he's got 5.5 sacks, and since he's been healthy, he's been on point. But you traded him away. Then you traded away Sweat to the Bears, which for the life of me makes no sense. But here we are. So the Commanders. I think they low-key want Caleb. Who doesn't want Caleb Williams? That's the real question.
I want Caleb Williams. I want him to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for 1 year.
You also want Devontae Adams. You want a lot of things.
Yeah.
You Jet fans.
We deserve it. We deserve it.
I threw a parade when Thomas Morstead signed this summer. Do you realize how desperate we are for anything?
Two Dom DeMarcos.
Oh, the pain.
Two Dom DeMarcos. But no. So give me the Pats. A 3-team race for Caleb Williams between the Bears, between the Cardinals who beat the Cowboys. That's their full name now, and the Commanders. 3-team race.
All right. And what about Chocolate City or New England Clam Chowder?
What the hell? I'm gonna have to go.
I'm sorry, there's no cheesesteaks here. I'm sorry.
That's the
Okay.
only language I speak. I'd have to go with the Patriots. Obviously, Commanders. They played hard against the Eagles, but that was just beef. I don't think
That was just an aberration.
Yeah, that was just an aberration.
They'll play hard against us on Thanksgiving too.
Yeah, they play rivals really hard, but I don't see them trying to.
Tell me you're tanking. Where's my camera? Tell me you're tanking without telling me you're tanking. You traded away two of your best players.
Which I'm happy that they traded away Chase Young. Obviously, he's out of our division.
And I'm so happy we don't have to face the 49ers this year.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They traded him to the 49ers of all teams.
And we already got our beating from them. And we'll get to Brock Purdy. He's not going to get away from it. You're not going to get away, buddy.
More like Brock Ugly.
You thought you were going to get away with it. You're not going to get away, bro. You got smoke coming your way. Give me a Chris Tucker. You got smoke coming your way before this game's over. I mean, before this episode's over. But yeah.
Okay, Smokey. Damn, these 1 o'clocks. Woo! What a doozy. We got the LA Rams against the Green Bay Packers.
God.
I'm going to go with the Rams here. I just think that Matthew Stafford's the better quarterback. I am not a believer in Jordan Love. I'm not a believer in Matt LaFleur. I understand this is a game at Lambeau, but I just feel like the Rams have a little bit more of a powerhouse offense. Sean McVay's a Super Bowl winning head coach. I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be a little bit more high energy with Los Angeles. I know it's going to be cold over there in Wisconsin, but I just I don't know what's going on. Like, to me, the Packers are one of the biggest surprises, and not in a positive way throughout the season, So yeah, I just my gut is telling me go with the Rams here.
You still go with them even if Stafford's out? I think he has an injured thumb.
Well, I definitely don't trust Jordan Love. So
yeah, if I can just piggyback on yours, here's my answer to that. One team has Jordan Love, one team doesn't. Give me the Rams.
Yep.
Again, I said it last time we got together. What C.J. Stroud is to the Texans is what the Packers thought Jordan Love was. It's the same build, athletic, lanky, can make all the throws, dual threat, competent from the pocket. Everything I just described is C.J. Stroud and not Jordan Love. Jordan Love is the opposite of everything I just named. And they're 2-5. Are they in the running for Caleb Williams too? Who doesn't want Caleb Williams? Golly, it's gonna be a photo finish if this is horse racing. So give me the LA Rams, man.
All right.
I'll have to take the Rams as well. I mean, I don't know how it's gonna look like without Stafford at QB, but yeah, it's just been really ugly on the GB side. So
yeah, I guess it isn't always sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah. Anyway, so this game is.
How long were you holding on to that?
He's been holding on to that.
Yeah, you started it, I finished it.
Yeah, he's been holding on to that for weeks. I can attest to that. Continue.
Anyways, speaking of a game for the Birds, we got the Seattle Seahawks against the Baltimore Ravens.
That's in Baltimore.
That is in Baltimore.
Give me Baltimore.
Yes.
Give me Baltimore.
Shout out to the Wire.
Like Gino, yeah. And rest in peace to Omar, Michael Kenneth Williams.
Absolutely.
See, here's the thing with the Ravens. Sorry. And here's the thing with the Seahawks too. So Gino is playing the best ball of his life.
Yeah, he
the
is.
last 2 years.
They're number one in the division right now.
And
that is crazy.
They have the inside track to being potentially the 2 seed. And they could go as high as that. But now we'll see.
And they just acquired Leonard Williams.
Exactly. So their defense got beefed up. And Gino is playing well, but I still don't trust Gino against top tier teams, elite teams. I think he's going to beat up on a lot of bad teams, and he'll surprise a couple teams from here and there. If this game was in Seattle, I would pick Seattle 100%. But the fact that it's in Baltimore. Baltimore's got a little bit of a win streak going. Lamar's playing good ball this year. He's actually playing. Yep. He's playing really good ball. And when his receivers want to catch the ball, because they lead the league in drops, and OBJ is washed. I'm sorry, he's washed. He's washed. Arm and Hammer, Gain, All, Tide,
Downey.
You guys dodged a bullet because
Major.
Oh, he wanted to come here.
Yeah. Jerry Jones, who a lot of people again back to the Willy Wonka analogy. A lot of people think he's the only person. We're gonna get a Willy Wonka drop. We almost have to now because I don't know what he sounds like.
He gives you this look like you better get it right. You know?
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like we practiced this. We practiced this. Jerry Jones is the only person in the front office that wanted him. Will McClay was like, can I see the medicals on that knee? No. Yeah. Stephen Jones was like, can I see the medicals on that knee? Hell no. Hell to the no. You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, Yeah, we did. But OBJ's washed, but Lamar's still playing good ball. They lost J.K. Dobbins, but Gus Edwards is running the heck out of the ball.
Yeah.
They still got Edwards, their tight end or whatnot, who's playing. Not Edwards, Andrews. Sorry.
Yeah.
They still have an elite tight end, and the Ravens they're looking like the Ravens this year that Lamar's healthy. Now let's see if Lamar can stay healthy. Because we've seen this movie before with him.
Yeah.
It's like
Michael Vick 2.0.
It's weird, man. It's like Lamar and the Ravens they're like the opposite to like the Bengals. Like the Bengals, like Burrow will be banged up or he'll play like trash. Can I get a couple trashes? Because he looks like trash. He looked like trash early on in the year.
he did.
Like Burrow and the Bengals will be like 4-4 and then they'll win like 8 straight. Or the Bengals will lose terribly to the Browns, like they always do, and then they'll go into San Francisco and beat Brock Purdy, who needs the Avengers to win, and the San Francisco 49ers. The Ravens are the opposite. The Ravens will start hot and get on a win streak, and then Lamar will just get hurt. He'll just get hurt, and then you got who's their backup quarterback that's been
Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
Then Tyler Huntley will finish the rest of the season and like play the last 4 or 5 games, and hopefully Lamar will play in the playoffs. So he needs to stay healthy. Because he got paid, and that's one of the big reasons why they didn't want to pay him, or they were messing around with his money. They're just like, bro, we're gonna pay you, but are you healthy? How healthy are you?
But my thing is, if you never invest in a running game, like what's the best running back they've had since
Gus
Ray
Edwards.
Rice?
Gus Edwards.
No, I'm talking about like since Ray Rice. Like,
I'm telling you,
who's
Gus
a
Edwards.
beast. No, I don't think Gus. I don't
No,
think
I'm
Gus.
joking.
Not, like for him, like you keep running the
I have
QB
so many
run.
jokes for that I'm not even gonna go.
Yeah, is it Philadelphia Eagles related? If not, I don't want to hear it. You always have Lamar Jackson running down the middle. He's gonna get hurt, man. I'm sorry. Like you can't carry the load every single time.
To answer that, it was supposed to be J.K. Dobbins. It was
Yeah.
supposed to be him.
Yeah.
But he's not. He can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
So mark my words. In the first 3 rounds, I know you're not supposed to technically draft a running back high, but there are exceptions. Jamar Gibbs, perfect pick. Take him high. He's good enough for it.
Yeah.
They'll take a running back. They'll take a running back in the first 3 rounds this year. They have to.
Ezekiel Elliott didn't pay off. Yeah.
I mean, he did
I mean,
for the most part.
yeah.
He has a winning record.
He was a beast, but
He has a winning record against Philly.
Seattle or Baltimore? Seattle or Baltimore? Come on.
I got that.
Whoa, even at home, I got no respect. All right. I don't know. I'm going to go with my gut here. Everything should tell me that, logic would say that Baltimore would win this game. That they seem to be the better, well-rounded team. You got 2 really good head coaches. I don't know. Just something tells me that Seattle's going to pull it off because I feel like they want it a little bit more for the division than the Ravens wanted for the AFC North. I think that they really have a chip on their shoulder. I think that Geno Smith is out to prove something. I don't know. I really got to go with Seattle here. It's just a gut feeling here. I feel like they're really going to pull out this win, and they're going to leave a lot of Baltimore fans, crying home.
This is right around the time that Lamar, something happens to him, and I don't want to speak that into existence, bro. But I'm just going off of history.
No.
bro.
The thing is, I'm not even
to shake that.
And the
man.
thing is, I'm not even saying that Baltimore's going to play a good game. I think it's actually going to be a pretty decent game. I just feel like Seattle's going to have a better game plan. I just
Kenneth
feel
Walker's also a beast.
Yes, he is.
And Charbonnet, who they drafted, who I wanted in Dallas, like
And I think that
he's
Leonard
good.
Williams is going to be disruptive for some reason. I think that he's feeling a little re-energized. I don't know. I'm just purely going with my gut with this one. I feel like Seattle's going to take this one.
This NFC West, AFC North, if you look at the games played so far, have been very weird. And trust me, I know because I've gotten almost every single one of them wrong in picks. When I thought home field should matter, it hasn't. When I thought home field wouldn't matter, it has. And so this one's personal to me. Traveling to Baltimore should make a difference here.
Should.
So I'm going to just change the logic this time. I've gotten burned every single time. So I'll take Seattle and watch it matter this time.
Give me that X-Files music one more time.
That's your conspiracy theory.
From the files of Mongo, making stuff up.
All right, next game we got, a.k.a. Mongo's fantasy here. We got the Vikings at the Falcons.
Yes, all my injured boys. My bench boy, my injured boy, my doesn't know the playbook yet boy. All my guys in the same club.
We the boys is playing. It's the remix.
Let's go. I got to be fully honest here. I have picked the Falcons every single week this year.
Why?
Because it's worked about half the time. Give me the Falcons.
4-4. He's not.
Give me the Falcons.
He's not wrong.
They're both 4-4.
4-4.
I can't pick Jaron Hall. I can't in good conscience.
Jaron Hall?
That's
Yeah,
isn't, isn't that the thing starting at quarterback?
That's
for
right.
Minnesota?
That's right.
Give me Taylor Heineke over Jaron Hall.
Dobbs doesn't know the playbook.
Dobbs doesn't know the playbook.
No, he
yet.
doesn't know it. No.
Yeah,
you're right.
Heineke, the muffler man, he's starting for the Falcons.
Wow.
Yeah. So here's the scary part, man. And I know Halloween is over with, but somebody from the NFC South has to play in the playoffs, and the loser of our division is going to have to play in that building.
Yeah.
And trust me, if the Saints win the NFC South, we joked about this at the with Chop Sports. Do you really want to go to New Orleans and play a wild card super weekend game in New Orleans with that dome and those fans and the freaking cowbells going or whatnot? I don't.
Dirty Bird.
Yeah. You would much rather go to Atlanta with Desmond Ridder or the muffler man at quarterback and Jamal Anderson coming out of retirement to play running back and Bijan Robinson at running back. You much rather play the Falcons. The Falcons, I low-key feel like the Falcons are going to win the South. I do.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's either the Falcons or the Saints if Derek Carr is just good enough and throws just enough non-interceptions to overcome his shortcomings.
I'm going to go with the Falcons also. I agree. I'm in lockstep with everything you said. And plus, I feel like there's not anybody on the Minnesota defense that can stop Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, and Justin Jefferson's not playing.
No, he's not.
And if I was him, I wouldn't come back.
No.
If I'm Minnesota, I'm not bringing any of these guys back.
Yeah.
I'm also in on Caleb Williams. Why wouldn't I?
Caleb Williams sweepstakes.
So Marv, the thumbnail, I'll find it. It's going to be Caleb Williams. With just superimposed with like 50 different jerseys. But
All right. Now the 1 o'clock's over. Thank God we got through that. But
apple picking was delightful.
now
let's watch.
Well, you know what? Let's go pumpkin picking now because we got the Colts against the Panthers.
I really thought it was over. I thought we were in the clear.
Don't worry. She was anyway. Yeah,
that's still a 1 o'clock game. I know it's not at 1 o'clock, but it sounds like a 1 o'clock.
It's 1 o'clock in Germany. That's for sure.
For sure. Give me the Colts because even though the Panthers are terrible, I know they don't want Caleb Williams because they got Bryce Young.
Yeah.
So they would honestly trade out of that pick. But they're years away from. Because again, they hired the wrong coach. Like Steve Wilkes should be their head coach right
Absolutely,
now.
yeah. They should have never got rid of him.
We talked about it, and it's weird. He's low key a better head coach than he is a defensive coordinator. I know that typically doesn't happen. It's typically like the other way around. But
well, Josh McDaniels is a hell of an offensive coordinator. He's a horrible head coach.
Yeah. But
same thing with Todd Bowles.
True. So it's like, but I'm gonna go with the Colts because Gardner Minshew. I trust him more than Bryce Young right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Colts as well. I mean, just because I want to. I don't have to explain anything else.
And one team's 1-6.
Exactly. Yeah. The Panthers have completely mailed it in. Yeah.
That should help.
Mongo?
You know what? First of all, bravo to the NFL for managing to get Bryce Young games against C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson back-to-back weeks.
That is a good point.
It didn't
That is a good
happen,
point.
obviously, with Richardson, but nicely done, NFL. You know what? The Panthers seem to have a little bit of magic coming out of the bye last week. They don't even have their pick, so they literally have nothing to play
That
for.
is true.
That's the Bears' pick.
Right.
I sneakily like Carolina with the upset here. They looked really
interesting.
really energized coming out of the bye last week. Let's see if they can make that 2 in a row.
If the Bears play before the Bears play their cards right, they could have the 1 and 2 pick.
That's true.
And have Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. both in Chicago next year. That's crazy.
What do you think they would get for Justin Fields?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
They have Caleb Williams.
Cross that bridge when you get there.
They can do what they want.
Whatever Josh Rosen fetched.
Oh.
And isn't he in the XFL now or Arena Football? I don't know what he's doing now, but go ahead.
Shout out to Johnny Manziel.
I'm gonna go with the Colts only because Panthers record, but Adam Thielen deserves his flowers, man. And I actually have Adam Thielen on my fantasy league, and he's been a godsend. But it's not just because of that. The guy's just a beast. I feel like that's something that the Vikings fumbled, no pun intended. It's just he's just a beast, man.
He's a
He's
solid
very
player,
underrated,
yeah.
very underrated.
For
You know?
sure.
And right now, they'd love to have him because the Vikings right now without Justin Jefferson, that would have been a perfect backup. You know, so I'd definitely go Colts.
Now we have a real sexy game here. I'm talking Sofia Vergara versus Megan Fox here. We got the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Come on, bro.
Yep. Thank you. Shout out to Deadpool. All right. Well, I didn't think that this pillow fight was gonna end, but we're gonna keep it going. So,
right.
my two handsome friends to my left and my right, we got cheesesteak versus barbecue. Have at it, fellas.
You can have the NFC champions, Super Bowl runner-ups. They can go first.
Okay.
Run-overs you talking about from last year?
I was like,
The run-overs from last year?
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Spicy.
Obviously, I'm going to go with the
Savage.
Eagles, right? I'm going to go with the Eagles. They, the fact that we're still technically figuring it out and we have the record that we have, I take that as a win, obviously. And Jalen Hurts has just shown that whenever things get tough, he doesn't crumble under pressure. So, yeah, you listen. Dallas is good. Dallas is good. Dallas is good. Dallas is good. They're scary, but I feel like Dallas can't not trip over themselves. And I feel like this is going to be one of those games where either, obviously you guys can win the game, but I don't think we'll get swept if that happens. It's either I definitely think it's going to split for this season, but I definitely think Philly's the better team. Just, not because of the jersey. It's just,
So just to be clear, you're picking the Eagles, right?
I think so, yes.
All right. You go, boy.
Give me my drop, please, Mar.
You go, boy.
And give me how about them Cowboys, please.
Oh.
Golly. I'm going with America's team, of course. Again, had you just had just the jersey, just the jersey. But again, get the camera tight on that. He brought Nick Foles. Quick sidebar. Can't overlook this. They built a statue for this man from Philly in front of the link. And they built a statue right next to him, Doug Peterson, right? And you know what they did the very next year? They fired him. And they let Nick Foles leave a free agency. But that's neither here or there. Just had to get that out. But we're going to split. There will be no sweep this year. To me, it's more dramatic for the for the split to happen, and then for a smorgasbord of God knows what in the last few weeks for the 1 seed to be on the line. Yeah. I think that's what the NFL script writers want. I don't think they want any of us to sweep each other because they want the last 2 or 3 weeks to be madness, scoreboard watching, the whole nine. They don't want the division to be wrapped up, before Black Friday. They don't want that. They don't want that.
Like the Buffalo Wild Wings commercials from back then,
right?
Where the refs are getting involved, trip players and stuff.
Exactly. or like the insurance commercial now, where you could throw the red challenge flag in the middle of something. Like, I don't know about that, Mom. Challenge on the play. Like, you know what I mean? Makes sense. So we're gonna split. I think it would be fitting that we both split on each other's home turfs, considering that both of us are playing out of our minds on our home fields. Like, we've won 11 straight in Dallas, first time since ¡92 with Jimmy Johnson. I miss that guy. I miss that guy bad. And you guys are playing well, not just at home, but just just in general. You guys are pulling out games. But we'll split. I'll take the home loss later. I'll take it later to have us win at your place because it would be that much sweeter because they have Dallas week. I don't know if you guys knew this.
No, I didn't know
They
that.
got Dallas week.
Wow.
You know what we have? What is it, week 10?
Week 9. Week 9.
It's week 9 for us.
You're already, you see that? You see that? He's already looking past you by going to week 10. He's already looking past you.
It's week 9 for us. It's Dallas week for y'all. So that's
All
why
right.
it's
Mongo.
So wait, my bad.
Please,
But
no,
go ahead.
who do you think needs this game more?
Mathematically, Dallas. We're now we're 2. We're 1 in the loss column behind you guys.
Yeah.
And if we were to lose, it would be 2, but it would technically be 3 because you guys would have the tiebreak right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, mathematically, we absolutely need it more. And sorry to hold you up.
No,
Mongo.
please go ahead.
And on top of that, with the way, not just the fact that we lost to San Francisco, the way we lost to San Francisco.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not sold on us yet. I've said it to both of these guys. I've said it to all my Cowboy homies too. Like, bro, I'm looking at you guys twice, Detroit and Seattle. All 4, all those teams are going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And add San Francisco to that too. So really 5 games. and 5 midterms. We already failed the first. You know what I mean? You can only fail so many before the instructor or professor is just like, yeah, you can take the final. But he's a teacher. He knows. He's like, you can take the final, but I'll see you next year. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta prove to the real fans that they could keep up with the teams that you're gonna. We have to get past y'all if we're gonna get to Vegas.
Right.
And if we can't beat you guys now, we ain't gonna beat y'all in January. If we even make it there, you see what I'm saying? We'll be one and done in a wild card. We won't even get to the divisional round.
So,
you know
wait,
we need it more.
If we beat you guys, will you wear this jersey?
I will never wear that jersey. I would wear a Washington Commander jersey. I'll take it a step further. I'd wear a New York Giant jersey before I'd wear an Eagle jersey.
That's commitment.
I couldn't. Would you ever wear a Cowboy jersey?
I would. Well, I mean, if it's a wager, I probably still wouldn't. I wouldn't.
I couldn't bet that. I could do that. I could do maybe a hat. And even afterward,
I would fake COVID for the whole month and miss all these invitations you guys give me just to not wear that jersey.
I couldn't because it would be in the metaverse and somebody would screenshot it because like Stephen A. Smith, he's worn Cowboy jerseys all the time because he's a classic Cowboy fan or whatever. But I couldn't put that. What kind of green is that, by the way? I always want to know. Like, what's the
Kelly green?
This is Victory Green.
Victory green? That's the name of it.
Hey, Mongo, how you doing? Good to have you part of the show.
I got my Jet segment and I'm good. I can. So I will say this to both of you. I would love to say grow up right here, but no.
Yeah, 5 savages.
Mongo, you got a Cowboy and an Eagle fan here. There's not in the vocabulary right now.
No, of course.
Just like winning in ours. But anyway, continue.
So I will
Grow up.
I will say this.
Mongo gets the title for that. He gets the belt for that. Marvelous on the boards.
Assuming that you don't find each other sooner, I fully believe that A, this is a best of 3, and B, this is the NFC Championship preview. I fully believe one of you knocks out San Francisco, and you're looking at the final weekend of the year, before the Super Bowl. So I think in the grand scheme of things, this is fairly meaningless. And so I'm a little bit torn here because you both agree Washington tends to play very, strong against Philly. You know who doesn't do well in Philly? The referees. And I was at that Dallas at Philly game last
Savage for that one. Savage.
Dom DeMarco for that. Dom DeMarco for that.
The rest did affect that outcome. And so in that
I would say Chris
sense,
Tucker, but we definitely don't want that.
in that sense, it makes me want to pick the Eagles, but I'm torn. Because I do think the Eagles are a slightly stronger team right now. I do think the home cooking is going to help. But I am so confused as to why they made a bobblehead commemorating the time that Michael Phelps dressed up as a football player for Halloween, because that's what that looks like. That's a terrible Nick Foles. I gotta go Dallas. I have to go Dallas.
Savage.
I've been staring. This guy's been staring into my soul for well over an hour, and I finally have to admit I'm terrified of this thing. Give me the Cowboys.
The refs. We'll wrap up that game and get to the final 2. But the refs are going to outcome. They're going to affect the outcome of this game, bro. Because especially the refs in y'all building, because they're not going to call holding.
Yeah.
They're going to call some crazy pass interference. They're going to call. There's going to be a call where I'm going to text Mongo or he's going to text me.
I'll be right there with you.
Exactly. He's going to be like, really? Or he'll just send me the meme of his face like he always does. And I'm just like, you know what's going to happen? Because it always happens in your building. It really does, bro. Like I'm not making it up. I'm not even being a homer here.
Yeah.
So the refs are going to affect this game, and that's. I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, shout out to that Dolphins game. Not a single flag on Philly. So.
See that? You see that?
All right. So let's just hurry up because we got to get to the Clown of the Week segments here.
I'm ready. Rapid fire.
You did your pick?
I'm going to go rapid fire on this, man, because you guys, we're way above past the clock. We have no clock integrity here. I'm about to name myself the Clown of the Week because I have no clock integrity here. Oh, my God. All right. So my pick, I'm going to go with the Eagles here. I just feel like, given the history of the Cowboys, I feel like they're going to fight tough. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be really chippy on both sides. But I don't know. I just feel like Mike McCarthy is going to do something that's going to be so questionable, and Nick Sirianni is going to have that smug little little look on his face. I'd be like, haha, you see what you did there? So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Eagles on this one. And I think that crowd is going to be unbearable for you Cowboys players and fans.
Facts.
So, yeah.
Facts.
All right, so we got also the Giants at the Raiders. Interesting game because Antonio Pierce is now the – what's that?
Is that a 1 o'clock game?
No, that's it should be. It should be in Germany, actually. Real quick for me, Raiders are a mess. Antonio Pierce, he's first time being a head coach, everything. I don't know what's going on with the Raiders. Devontae Adams doesn't want to be there. Giants need to salvage some kind of semblance of their season. I think they're going to fight a little bit harder in this one. It's going to be an ugly game. I think it's going to be low scoring, but I'm going to pick the Giants in this one.
I'm going to pick the Raiders because they benched Jimmy Garoppolo for Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, but also Tommy DeVito might be playing, so.
Danny DeVito's son is playing at quarterback. Yeah, give me the Raiders are going to be charged, and especially they're at home too, with a new coach, and everything I've heard is they're like re-energized from this. And I low key think the Giants are in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. So give me the Raiders. Give me the Raiders by a touchdown.
All right, Joel, real quick.
I think the Giants because they can't tank properly. So I feel like they're gonna win
for that one.
Yeah, so.
If Tyrod was playing, I'd pick the Giants. I'd pick the Giants in every game Tyrod started.
I'm getting some Mike White magic from
DeVito?
Yeah, I can see that rallying. I can see that rallying.
I like to change my clown. I like to change my clown of the week, please.
Give him the ball.
No, I'm just saying. No, watch. I'm telling you, they're gonna unleash, and
Unleash what?
Listen, there's not much going for that whole game. I mean, I would pick Darren Waller if he was, playing as a
Waller's not
favorite.
even playing.
That's what I'm saying. If he was playing, I would say that's something to look forward to. But no, I'd go with the Giants.
So Saquon's gonna have some touchdown passes. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Mongo. How you doing?
I'm doing well, although, honestly, here's what the Giants should do at quarterback. Direct snap to Barkley, have an extra O-lineman in there. Don't 6 O-linemen, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, straight back to Barkley.
It's a Dom DeMarco.
Let it happen.
It's a Dom DeMarco right now.
All right, next one, we got the Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to go with Cincinnati here. It's a home game for them. Cincinnati has definitely found their footing. I think they're going to get the ball rolling now. They've had an ugly start to the season, but Joe Burrow is starting to look like Joe Burrow again. T. Higgins and everybody else is like they're balling out right now. I don't know what Buffalo's going on. I mean, they're a weird team each week. They lose to the Jets and the Patriots, and then afterwards they put a beating on the Dolphins, so on and so forth. We don't know. It's basically you flip a quarter, and then afterwards you see what kind of Buffalo team you're going to get. But yeah, I just think that Bengals they have their mojo back right now, and they're going to steamroll as far as they can all the way to the playoffs. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Bengals on this one.
I think this, going back to what I said before, this is right around the time where the Bengals catch fire. Burrow's healthy. Jamar Chase, that connection's better. Their defense is playing better. Joe Mixon's running the ball like a maniac. And for not just the fact that they won in San Francisco, they beat the living daylights out of San Francisco. I watched that game in the later window just to make sure that the Brock Purdy Avengers lost. And it was just, I'm watching Burrow run for first downs. I'm watching Burrow just dice. He looked like he did at freaking LSU against that 49ers secondary. I'm just like, yeah. That he's worth the G word. You can say the G word with Burrow. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that I'll back away and be like, he's him. He's one of those hymns. When Burrow's healthy, he's one of those hymns. So, and they're at home. So, give me the Bengals.
Mongo.
So here's a great lesson in sports commentary on the. Here's a great lesson in sports commentary on the fly. I'm looking at the camera for this one. Ditto. Your turn.
Yahtzee.
Joel?
I'll go with Bengals. Jamar Chase is a beast.
Yeah, absolutely. And then finally, our Monday nighter, the Chargers at the New York Jets.
Dun, 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 dun. You guys going to that game?
No. No, I will not be attending that game. I don't know, man. This is I don't know how to go with this because I don't want my fandom to get in the way. I do love the Jets defense better than the Chargers defense, even though they got Khalil Mack and they got Joey Bosa. But you know what? Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack together, and also with that really, really shaky offensive line on the New York Jets, and Zach Wilson is still Zach Wilson.
Whack 100? Whack 100 Wilson?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I feel like the Jets have up against the Chargers is their coaching because Brandon Staley, that's like Adam Gase and Chase right there. So, but yeah, this is really weird for me. But like I mentioned before, the Jets, they scare me in prime time. Justin Herbert is absolutely a phenomenal quarterback, even though that's the coach is going to find a way to screw it up. But I don't know. I think that the Jets also might get a little cocky right now because they already have they're on a 3-game win streak right now, and I've seen this movie happen plenty of times before. So give me the Chargers to go with this one.
Yeah, I'm going to jump
Go
in here
ahead.
on the Jet train here.
You should.
Staley to me is the key to this thing because the Chargers are a half game ahead of a team that literally just fired everybody and a team that plays and coaches like it's still 2008.
Right. Yes.
It would be the dumbest thing ever for the Chargers to not make this the moment, to not go to Staley and say, you are playing for your job this week, sir. Because if he gets let's say Vegas wins and catches the Chargers, that's inexcusable. Because the Chargers are, talent-wise, a zillion years ahead of third place in that division and yet find themselves in danger of falling to last in that division. So assuming the Chargers do the logical thing here and basically make this an all-in moment for Staley, I think he's going to play with, and he's going to get the team moving with some sort of fire. Adam, what you said about the O-line and the D-line there, unfortunately, I got to take the Chargers here.
Yeah. All right, really quick, barbecue and then Philly cheesesteak.
Outside of Mike Williams, the Chargers don't have any major injuries. So the fact that they're 3-4, I would have already fired Staley. I don't think he's a good coach. Their talent, their roster is just ridiculous, man. It makes no sense that they're as up and down and mediocre as they are.
That's like having 5-star restaurant meals and it's being cooked by Chef Boyardee.
So we talking about this Chef Boyardee straight out of the can. Give me. It's hard to pick you. It's hard to pick this game because if it's the grimy beat up the quarterback kind of game, I like you guys. I do. If the Chargers actually play up to their potential, which in prime time is more, I take that more possible. I'll go with the Chargers. I'll go with the Chargers barely. Right. I will. But it wouldn't. But I say that with a caveat. It wouldn't be surprising me if you guys won.
Okay.
honestly.
Yeah, I fall in love with you there.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
I'll take the Chargers. I feel like if the defense for the Jets gets figured out, I feel like Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Herbert, it's gonna be too much.
The roster makes no sense.
Yeah. Because if that offense can't keep up, if we get the Zach Wilson that we're used to, it's gonna be a long day for the Jets. So I'll go with the Chargers.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is your NFL picks for the season. Yeah. And we are already past the clock, but I think it's time that we also really get into it quick. Marv, can you cue the music real quick? And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Clown of the Week segment. Da, 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 da. All right. We're going to go with the guests first. Mongo, do you have your Clown of the Week?
Can you go to the other guests first? Well, I think of
Joel,
my clown
do
of the
you
week.
have your Clown of the Week?
I'm going to say Washington Commanders. I feel like that Chase Young trade, I'd be mad at the Eagles if we did something like that. So, I had to make it about the Eagles, yeah. But I would say, yeah, definitely Clown of the Week.
All right.
Commanders.
Do you want to go first, or do you? you have one more.
I'll go back in, and I'll be honest. I'm not 100% sure what the rules are as to how rogue I'm allowed to go here. I'm going to keep it in football, but I'm going to leave the NFL for a minute. I got to go to the Michigan Wolverines here collectively as one big clown of the week.
Savage God.
Literally, put on a fake nose clown of the week. I don't know if anyone saw that, the latest one where the dude is literally just hanging out on the. I mean, it's like Bobby Valentine getting thrown out of a game and coming back in. It's that level of maybe they won't recognize
Tom DeMarco.
And if you're not going to make Michigan the clown, you got to make Central Michigan security the clown, because it's absurd that this is happening. But Michigan collectively, one big clown show right now.
That's one for the books right there.
Yeah, Ugo, who is your Clown of the Week?
Oh my goodness, where's my cameraman? Okay, so many candidates this week during Dallas week for a certain fan base there. But I'm not even gonna pick. I'm actually not gonna pick an Eagle. I'm not gonna pick a former Eagle because Shady McCoy, he's in the Hall of Fame already. All right,
the gold jacket already.
He's got it. The purple jacket. Purple jacket with the green hair and red nose and red shoes. No, this week's Clown of the Week brought to you by First Class Second Place Podcast and the Ugo Boy Podcast. Now streaming on all digital platforms.
You go, boy.
This week's Clown
Live from Bravery Studios.
Live from Bravery Studios is former San Francisco 49er, former Seattle Seahawk, and current clown current bozo who works for Faux Sports, as you
Faux
say.
Sports, yes, yeah.
Richard Sherman, come on down. I've been listening to this guy, and I get it. I get it. Like Shannon Sharp left to ESPN.
Yeah.
Undisputed needed a new clown to fill the shoes, the big red shoes left behind.
It's the Joker and the Riddler. Basically.
Yeah. Like we need you to be the Cowboy hater, no matter what. Cowboys could somehow beat the 49ers, but it's the regular season. It doesn't matter. And do it in the playoffs and whatnot. He'll find some way to crap on the Cowboys. So in the latest edition of Stupid Takes by clown Richard Sherman, CeeDee Lamb is overrated and he's not a top 5 wide receiver. He's okay. He's aight. I'm like, bro, like there's only one wide receiver who has had multiple 10 receptions, over 150 yards, and multiple touchdowns in a game. No wide receiver in Cowboy history has ever done that. Not Michael Irvin, not Drew Pearson, not even Dez Bryant has done that. CeeDee Lamb's done that twice. All right, so as overrated as CeeDee Lamb, Cedarian Lamb, first of his name, is or whatnot, he's doing stuff that hasn't been done in the history of our franchise or whatnot. He's one of the top 5. Definitely one of the top 10 wide receivers right now. And I get it. You have to give clown takes right now. You work for Faux Sports. But Richard Sherman, where's my camera? You're a clown. You're a bozo. You got the green hair. You got the red nose. You got the big red shoes that Shannon Sharp left behind. You're a clown. You're always going to be a clown. Go join the circus, buddy.
All right, I love it. And for my clown of the week,
yes. He's been waiting all week for clown of the week.
Oh man, I don't know about all week, but I'm thinking about all the last decade. So we didn't get a chance to speak talk baseball here. I'm not a Texas Rangers fan. I'm not a Texas Rangers fan. I'm not a Texas Rangers fan, but shout out to Bruce Bochy. Congratulations on your World Series. Shout out to all the Ranger fans out there.
Round of applause for the Texas Rangers, world champions. World champions.
Give them their flowers. And a big reason why the Texas Rangers are champions is because you also have Nathan Eovaldi, former Yankee, and you also have former Jordan Montgomery.
It's coming.
So when you care more about analytics than actual gut, and ironically your last name is the opposite of withdraw or bankrupt, Brian Cashman,
come on,
clown of the week, clown of the season, clown of the decade. 2009 was so long ago. You have been a clown. Oh, let me see. E equals MC. Nothing. Brian Cashman, you are my clown, and in honor of Thomas Morstead, this is for you right now. Boom! Clown of the week, Brian Cashman. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro, that was beautiful, man.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yes,
friend. Well done,
all right.
friend.
And before we close out, I just want to say really quick, because we're up against the clock, real quick, my hero of the week is just Bobby Knight. Thank you for all the great memories that we're always going to cherish, and thank you for keeping it real as a coach, and thank you for telling us that Michael Jordan was going to be the GOAT, because he is.
Yes, and my hero of the week, I'm going to give it up. The Texas Rangers. Their first world championship in the history of their organization. Oh, my God. How are you not heroes if you do stuff that's never been done before? So
exactly.
They absolutely get props. And all the former Yankees that Brian Cashman did not keep, you guys are. And Jacob deGrom, the former Met, he's got a ring now. Let that sink in.
And Max Scherzer.
Has another ring. So, who'd have thought they... So, yeah.
Who'd have thunk it?
They thought they came in this season wanting a championship, and they got one, just not in New York. So shout out to the Texas Rangers. You guys are heroes. You guys deserve it. Don't worry. The Yankees. We'll get our championship in 2035. give or take.
I'll be not at this point. I'll be surprised. Well, actually, not too surprised if the Knicks actually win a championship.
It's possible.
It's possible. It's very possible.
Yeah,
Brunson is a beast.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Brunson. Hero of the weeks. Let's start with you, Joel.
I'm gonna bring it back to football. I'm gonna say Jalen Hurts, man. You got surprised? I don't know if you got surprised. Right. I know that caught everybody off guard, but no.
Actually, you didn't.
No.
You showed your cards way ahead of time, bro.
Did I? I don't know what gave it away. Was it the green? But no, I choose Jalen Hurts mainly because the moxie he's playing with, and just be able to get back in games when we're losing it. So yeah, he's showing toughness that I didn't think he had it early on. So Jalen Hurts.
I get it. You're running for politics. Go ahead, Mongo.
So you stole my thunder a little bit, but I'm going back to baseball, but mine is specifically Adolis Garcia. And aside from the actual heroics, and then you get into the sort of Willis Reed level of contribution when you're injured. I just think in general, baseball needs a hero in a grander scheme right now.
Brother. Amen.
And there's shades of, I know this is, as a Yankee fan, this is tough, but there's shades of Big Papi in the energy that Adolis brings to every single thing he does.
Big facts.
And if you are an upcoming fan right now, watch the Texas Rangers next year as much as you can and just enjoy this guy, because what he's going to do for the game of baseball is more than anything he might do in a single season for the Rangers. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a great player and he was huge for them, but he could be a huge face in baseball over the next couple of years.
Yeah, and I give you props too. You picked Jalen Hurts as your hero. I mean, he has 8 interceptions on the season. Yeah. But listen,
he's feeding defenses. That's heroic. He's stopping hunger right now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for this episode of Yo BTV Sports. Thank you so much for joining us.
Love you guys. Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't gonna say who's on the beat, cause you should know that by now. Check it. Hey yo, music's on my mind, like my 59, 50, I ain't lying.